Well, hey, it's time for Ask the Tech Guys. I'm Leo Laporte. Coming up, we take a ride in Dick Debartolo's pirate ship bedroom.
Arrgh, and I'm Mikah Sargent, and we answer the question, is it a good idea to store passwords in multiple locations?
And then, where do you put the antenna in the attic if you don't have an attic? It's coming up next on Ask the Tech Guys.
Podcasts you love.
From people you trust.
This is Twit.
This is Ask the Tech Guys with Mikah Sargent and Leo Laporte. Episode 2013, recorded Sunday, February 25th, 2024. Leoville on the moon. This episode of Ask the Tech Guys is brought to you by Wix Studio. All right, debate time. Who gets more out of Wix Studio? Designers or developers? Well, first of all, if you don't know about Wix Studio, it's the web platform offering the flexibility agencies and enterprises need to deliver bespoke sites hyper efficiently. But back to the debate. For designers, there's lots to recommend it. You can create fully responsive websites. You start with a blank canvas or choose a template for any layout. You can tweak per pixel with your CSS. And if no code's your thing, oh man, or you just like to move fast, there are a ton of smart features like native no-code animations and responsive AI that adjusts every breakpoint. I mean, that is really great. For devs, Wix Studio is really great. It offers a powerful suite of homegrown web APIs and REST APIs, so you can quickly integrate, extend, and write custom scripts in a VS Code-based IDE alongside an AI code assistant, of course. Plus, it's all wrapped in rock-solid, auto-maintained infrastructure. So really, Wix Studio is both. You know, it can do both. AI that writes your code or fixes your breakpoints. Fully responsive editor or a zero setup dev environment. No code animations or, well, no code animations. Everybody likes that. Designers or developers, it's up to you. Search Wix Studio and find out for yourself. Go to wix.com/studio or click on the link in the show page to find out more. We thank Wix so much for supporting Ask the Tech Guys. Now on with the show. Well, hey, how are you today?
I'm great. How are you?
It's Mikah Sargent as I live and breathe.
And there's Leo Laporte as I die and don't breathe. I don't know what the opposite
that.
is.
That's very grim.
Live and breathe, die.
As I live and breathe.
Suffocate,
That is a funny phrase, isn't it? As I live and breathe.
As I live and breathe.
That's what happens when you get old, like me. You start saying oldisms.
As I live and
catch
breathe.
me. Well, the good Lord willing, and the creeks don't rise. And in fact, the creeks were rising, but we made it through the floods.
Oh, thank goodness.
And Ahab,
2x2.
2x2, and Noah together are back in charge. This is the show where we have terrible digressions, and then we answer your technology questions at 888-724-2884.
That is the phone number that you could call. If you're calling during the show, it's very important that when you are brought on stage, you press the characters star or asterisk and 6 to unmute yourself when you're brought on. If you call during the week while we're not doing the show, you can leave a voicemail that we will happily answer on the show. You can also head to call.twit.tv in a browser of your choice that will connect you to a Zoom room where you will hang out and be able to ask your question. We suggest doing it from a mobile device because you'll have that webcam and the microphone built right in. But we've got a lot of folks who call in from their computers, and that's fine for them as well. The one thing we ask is that you look on your screen. It's going to probably be at the bottom somewhere for a little hand icon, and typically it'll say raise hand below it. If you have a question, please click or tap that button so that your hand is raised, and you let us know that you do indeed have a question and you're not just hanging out, because we do have some folks who just like to hang out, which is fine. Lastly, you can email us atg@twit.tv and send in your audio, your video, or your text-based questions.
By the way, I'm just admiring your socks. I know you hate this part of the show, everybody, but we're going to do it anyway. I'm wearing normal, weird socks. You are wearing kind of funny socks because they have pink flamingos on them, but they're gray.
They're gray, yes.
So it's kind of like a visual pun.
It is a little bit. The heel and the toe are flamingo pink. You can't see that. But the flamingos themselves are gray.
They're crypto flamingos.
It's like the color drained down into the bottom of the sock.
I love it. See, you can get so much pleasure out of those tube-like devices you put on your feet to protect yourself from shoes. I was watching Drive to Survive. Formula One's coming back in about March 2nd, soon, a week. And that means Netflix released its episodic reality show about Formula One from last year called Drive to Survive, which I highly recommend. A fifth or sixth season, I can't remember. Anyway, it's getting a lot of people in the U.S. into Formula One auto racing. Mm-hmm. But they did a whole episode on the Aston Martin team, which I'm kind of a fan of Alonso because he's the oldest driver. He's almost, I don't know, he's over 40. He's 43 or something. But they focused on and his partner's Lance Stroll, the son of the owner of the team. And it's a long way around to say they constantly showing him, and he's very, very wealthy, billionaire, doesn't wear socks. It's like, dude, you can afford socks.
What are his shoes though?
They're just like loafers without socks, and I think that's disgusting.
Well, loafers.
Maybe he's wearing little pads. Sometimes you wear those socks.
Might be wearing those,
but that's really weird. Why is it something about your ankle that you think is so attractive?
No,
that you want us to see your ankle?
It is a style.
It's a style. I know. It's a rich person's style.
Yeah.
Richest guy I ever knew personally, also a billionaire, would wear the most ratty shoes. It was intentional, I'm convinced, to show that he was like one of the men of the people.
Yeah.
So speaking of the people, AT&T had a little problem, a little bit of a problem yesterday, or day before yesterday. They were out. I got my Nixle alert. We have our local police alert system saying, hey, don't call 911. It's out.
It won't work. Great. Love that.
AT&T, the cell network, the nationwide cell network, famous so far for so long, it got so much, AT&T was Ma Bell, they got so many concessions from the federal government about their monopoly because they would preserve the network. It would be the most reliable network. Well, no longer true, right? From 4:30 a.m. Eastern to 4 p.m. Eastern, nearly 12 hours, no AT&T. That's wild. Is anybody AT&T here?
This guy.
Was your phone out?
So I use Wi-Fi calling.
So you didn't even notice.
So I didn't notice until I got the Nixle alert, and then I got an email from AT&T saying use Wi-Fi calling.
So does 911 work on Wi-Fi? I guess it would.
It does. So whenever you set up Wi-Fi calling, you're taken to a portal where you have to put in your address. And so then they use that. But what was interesting, I think, that kind of went along with this is that many of the other carriers on the different third-party sites that report when things are down, they also started to show outages. And it turned out that what was happening is that people on T-Mobile, people on Verizon were trying to get in touch with people on AT&T. They weren't able to get in touch with them, so they thought their service was out too. So then
I saw those reports like it's all down, everything. No, it's just AT&T.
It was just AT&T.
Thursday. Got the day wrong. Thursday. Weird, isn't it? Now, by the way, Department of Homeland Security and the FBI both investigating. But AT&T says, no, it wasn't bad actors, because that's the first thing I think. They're being DDoSed.
What's happening? Hackers?
Wasn't bad actors. They said it was a result of, they got a weird phrase that they used.
We love those, right?
And I didn't really like the phrase.
Wiggle phrases.
What was it? It was so funny. The outage was not a cyber attack, but caused by, quote, the application and execution of an incorrect process used as we were expanding our network. I don't even think that's correct English. I don't even know what that means. The application, that's the intent, right? It's obfuscating.
Yeah, exactly.
The application and execution of an incorrect process used as we were expanding our network. See how they even got that little bit of like, we're expanding the network.
Yeah, exactly.
They got a little ad in the explanation. So
it's all code for someone or someone's messed up.
Clearly somebody messed up, or many people
that wasn't supposed to.
We don't know. I'm sure Steve Gibson will address this on Tuesday on Security Now. Most people have interpreted that as a software error, but that may not be.
Yeah.
One of the things that causes this often is something called BGP routing. And it's happened in the past. The entire internet for a while was routed through a small ISP in Norway or something. These things happen. And so it could have been something with routing, a routing error. Some wag speculated that there was a certificate that expired on a machine that hasn't been used in a decade, and they fired the guy who knew where the machine was and how it worked 8 years ago, and it just never broke until now. And that could be it, too.
I feel like that's how everything runs secretly.
Yeah.
I'm convinced it's all just some machine somewhere that we don't know about. You know what I mean? All the processes.
Well, it's obvious. The application and execution of an incorrect process used as they were expanding their network. That's what happened.
Yeah, that's what if I'm ever taken to court for anything, that's what I'll say to the judge.
Sources from the ABC, not the Australian Broadcast Corporation, I don't think. I think it's the American Broadcast Corporation, says that it was a software update. Their sources say it was a software update that went wrong. No external actor was involved. It was incompetence, not conspiracy. But you can see why AT&T doesn't really want to say that either.
Yeah, exactly. Because then you're going, wait, so a software update could make me not be able to call 911?
Yes.
And people don't want to think about that.
Yes.
You don't want to believe that that's the difference between getting in touch with emergency services or not.
We're all hanging by a thread. That.
Yes, that's really, genuinely, that is something that we have to remember in some cases.
Which is why I'm very glad that the entire corpus of everything we know is now on the moon.
Did
you see this?
I did not realize that was part of this. I have to tell you, I'm not Don't tell Rod Pyle. I'm not a big space guy. Rod has made me more of a space guy than I've ever been, but I didn't really know what was going on with this. So tell me more.
It was kind of a fascinating story. SpaceX launched this private satellite, or private lander, really, the Intuitive Machines IM-1. I'm sure, John, you followed this, because we haven't put any lunar lander on the moon in, how many, 30 years? A long time. Since Apollo.
And they've been trying. Private companies have been trying, but it keeps messing up.
The thing was coming in. It was actually a great story. Maybe Rod will tell us this whole thing at some point. But the lander's coming in, and they realized that somebody back at the home office, when they launched it, forgot to turn on
an incorrect process.
the landing cameras.
Oh, no.
So then they're scrambling because they can't see to land, right? So it turns out there are a number of scientific missions on this, and there was one that was using, I think, LiDAR, and it was intended for they're quickly coding.
No way.
And they turn it on, and they're quickly sending code and uploading it quickly before you land here, and they were able to land it.
With the LiDAR? That's amazing.
Yeah. There's a private company hired by NASA, but it is private space. Anyway, but unfortunately it tripped.
The lander tripped?
It tripped. So it's a normal-looking lunar lander, although it looks kind of tall, but apparently its legs were widespread anyway. So it looked a little top-heavy, I have to say, in the pictures, in the press conference. But apparently, as it was coming in, there was a rock they didn't know was there, and it hit it. And it went, so it's sideways.
And it's still sideways?
Yeah.
Because it doesn't have some sort of arm to...
No, it can't get up. So it's... I've fallen, and I can't get up.
Thank you. Yep.
So it's sideways, but it still works, right? It's still... sending stuff back, I don't know if you can get all the payloads off.
The part that's on the ground is artwork.
Oh, okay.
All the payloads are on the other three sides, plus there's a solar panel on the side that's facing up.
Okay.
Oh, good.
So they've got energy, they've got transmission as weak.
Right.
And
it's trouble getting data.
But here, I didn't know this. This is cool. On the IM-1 Intuitive Machines lunar lander is many sheets of nickel, nanofiche, called the Lunar Library. Mm-hmm. We've tried several times to do this. It blew up a couple of times, but we got it there. So on the moon now, thanks to Galactic Legacy Labs and the Luna Prize mission, is the Lunar Library, a backup of human knowledge.
Wow.
That will now sit on the moon untouchable forever.
That's cool.
Because if you think about it, say there's a calamity on Earth and we all lose all our knowledge, we're going to have to figure out how to get back to the moon to get it, which means...
It's a test in and of itself.
It's there. So what do they put up there, I think this is really cool. We had, I don't know if you remember on Twig on Thursday, Wednesday, we had a wonderful guest, Molly White, who is one of the editorial advisors to Wikipedia. We thanked her profusely for her. I think 15 years she's been working on Wikipedia for free as a volunteer.
Wow.
So the entire English Wikipedia, all 6 million articles, is on the moon. Take that, 8th grade teachers who won't let you use Wikipedia for research. Project Gutenberg is on the moon. That's the project to get all the public domain works into plain text so you can download 70,000 ebooks. All public domain stuff, obviously. The Long Now Foundation's Rosetta Project, which is an archive of 7,000 human languages.
Wow.
So that, I don't know, so that if the moon men find it, they can talk to us? I don't know. Selections. A sampling of the Internet Archive's collection of books and important documents and data sets. I really hope that the first Leoville is on the moon. I'm just saying, my first website. Anyway, SETI Institute's Earthling project featuring a musical compilation of 10,000 vocal submissions representing I Bet You Never Gonna Give You Up.
Oh, please, I hope
let
so.
you down. I hope that's up there. The Arch Lunar Art Archive, I guess that's what's on its on face down, containing a collection of works from global and contemporary digital artists recorded as NFTs. Oh, well.
Why?
Hey, they're on the moon now. Moonbirds. This is really the big why, though. David Copperfield's magic secrets. The secrets to all of his greatest illusions, including how he'll make the moon disappear in the near future. This sounds like an ad.
Yeah.
And by the way, what is so say some future civilization finds this. They don't know which is more important, David Copperfield's magic secrets or Wikipedia. They don't know.
Goodness.
They figure it must be pretty important. They put it on the moon.
They think, we are a world of illusionists.
They think David Copperfield, you know what I think they're going to think?
Our galactic leader.
They think he was the galactic leader and he was a fraud.
Yes, he was a liar.
But he couldn't help put all of his secrets there where no one could see them.
Oh my God, that's amazing. The leader hid his secrets on the moon.
And why David Copperfield? He's not even our best magician.
I know.
He's our richest magician.
What a choice.
But Penn and Teller would have been better. Anyway, the Arch Mission Primer, which teaches 1 million concepts with images and words in 5 languages.
I just want to see that. Can I go somewhere?
Yeah, why can't I just download this
I
myself?
want it, yeah.
The Arch Mission Private Library, millions of pages of books, documents, and articles on every subject, fiction, nonfiction, textbooks, periodicals, audio recordings, videos. This is, I guess, like all the copyrighted stuff that they couldn't get from somewhere else. And then the Mission Vaults, which are private collections, including collections from advisors and partners, and a collection of important texts and images from all the world's religions. So this is a massive thing. Now, it is, first of all, this is ridiculous. It's etched into thin sheets of nickel. It was built to last for 4 billion years. Well, until the sun eats us. Who's going to read this? Anyway, I'm glad they did it. It's kind of cool.
It is very cool.
Says this is the Medium post by Nova Spivak, who worked on the mission. This is their third attempt to launch the Arch mission's 30 million page lunar library. He says, we can guarantee that civilization on Earth will never be lost. Well, actually, it probably will. Yeah. I hate to tell you. But anyway, it's there.
That's really cool.
It's like when we sent Voyager out with the disc that Carl Sagan made of, songs and languages and live long and prosper and stuff. So I think, it's cool. John is going to say something now. For alien anthropologists, if they can read it, well, that's the thing. It's just as likely they'll look at it and go, that's pretty. Yeah. I mean, how are they going to know? Anyway, I don't.
Obviously they have universal translators, Leo. Come on.
The Klingons are going to be able to read it. No problem. We're going to take a little ad break, and then when we come back,
more of this.
We're going to actually answer some questions. Please, I beg of you. Please. I'm sorry. You know what?
First of all, how dare you? That's the first question.
I live a solitary, lonely life in my little bubble.
Advent of code.
I don't know nobody. I don't talk to nobody. Once a week, I get to sit next to a human and talk to him. Once a week. I've been saving this up all week. All right, we'll be right back after this. This episode brought to you by Robinhood. Did you know that even if you have a 401k for retirement, you can still have an IRA? Robinhood is the only IRA that gives you a 3% boost on every dollar you contribute when you subscribe to Robinhood Gold. But get this, now through April 30th, Robinhood is even boosting every single dollar you transfer in from other retirement accounts with a 3% match. That's right. no cap on the 3% match. Robinhood Gold gets you the most for your retirement, thanks to their IRA with a 3% match. This offer is good through April 30th. Get started at Robinhood.com/boost. Subscription fees apply. And now for some legal info. Claim as of Q1 2024, validated by Radius Global Market Research. Investing involves risk, including loss. Limitations apply to IRAs and 401ks. 3% match requires Robinhood Gold for 1 year from the date of the first 3% match. Must keep Robinhood IRA for 5 years. The 3% matching on transfers is subject to specific terms and conditions. Robinhood IRA available to U.S. customers in good standing. Robinhood Financial, LLC, member SIPC, is a registered broker-dealer. I guess it's called now, right? Now, by the way, boy producer, I can call him that now.
He's not here, so
John Ashley's not here. Anthony Nielsen filling in. He's a man's man.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Oh,
Listen to that voice.
yeah.
Mr. Nielsen, who should we speak with first here?
Let's go with Kevin I.
Kevin. Hi.
Aye,
Sir. There he is. Hi, Kevin.
Kevin.
From Vegas. How are you?
I recognize Kevin. We can't
Your
hear.
favorite
There we go.
retired musician from Las Vegas.
Yes, sir.
Expat from the Bay Area.
I want to see this. I live in an iWorld. Where'd you get that?
That was at a Macworld convention many moons ago, since they haven't had them for a while now.
Yeah, many moons ago. Yeah.
And that was another reason I was going to do a little show and tell, because you had mentioned, of course, the last month when the 40th anniversary of the Mac, and you had mentioned The Revolution in the Valley, the book by Andy Hertzfeld.
Which I bought, and I left it home. I should have brought it in. I have it. It's a beautiful book.
And I have it, and I also have to show you, if I can do this right.
Yes, we're seeing
there we
Revolution.
go.
Oh, you got a signature by
Andy Hertzfeld's
Nice.
signature. I got to meet him and talk with him for a little while. So a little brush with fame there.
And he's
Also,
one of the sweetest people ever.
It was definitely.
I got an email from Bill Atkinson, one of the other great people who's been on our shows many times, saying, you should come to the Computer History Museum for the event. And I never read my email, and I saw it after the event. Unfortunately, sorry, Bill, but thank you for the heads up. Pretty cool. I should mention for those listening, his T-shirt says, "I live in an iWorld." Now, Apple's online service is called eWorld, right? Yeah.
Oh yeah, way back when. Yeah. That was. Yeah, that's dating you. Which also is the other thing. I was feeling nostalgic and looking at some of the YouTube videos of your old screensavers, and so.
Whoa! Look at the wallpaper.
From
Call for help and screensavers.
So,
and also, I have another one that you might be interested in.
Oh yeah, there's Leo and the Leo avatar from the screensaver.
That's funny.
I also have Megan and
forgot who made those. I should give that person credit, but I don't remember.
The nose.
Anyway, so feeling a little nostalgic about that. But
somebody just told us, Adam in the Discord told us that there is an illicit stream of screensavers and the Lab with Leo and G4 shows. Somebody's still running. It's called 4GTV.stream. I should probably not say that out loud. It should be kept secret. But,
well, there are a bunch of them on YouTube.
Yeah.
You can catch
also illicit. We tried. So NBC, Tech TV was sold to Comcast, which then turned it into G4 TV, and then eventually folded G4 TV. Comcast, of course, was NBC was, of course, Universal, which was, of course, bought by Comcast. So Comcast owns the rights to all that stuff. And we approached them 10 years ago. Lisa had a lot of calls with them saying, because we know they have all of those shows in a storage facility in Los Angeles, saying that's got to be costing you money. By the way, they're on tape. They're not even on hard drive, I don't think. Maybe they are. She said, that's got to be costing you money. We'd like to take those shows once a week, show an old one, have the hosts come back and talk about it and maybe update it, and we'll put ads in it and we'll share the revenue with you. And they said no. So everything that you see on YouTube and on this 4G TV stream is, I don't know, it's not, 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 it's not But I think NBC, at this point, they don't really care. I mean, that stuff's 20 years old.
Yeah.
Who cares? Right?
Yeah, I mean, there's so many.
Around
That's the thing about it. There was so much interesting old tech you were talking
I
about.
think it's fun. Yeah.
It's interesting to go see what you were talking about, which was at the time the cutting edge, and now is really not at all. So it is interesting to watch those old shows. But
well, I put a lot of heart and soul into it. As did hundreds of other people. We cared a lot.
I was
about
really,
doing it. Yeah.
Disappointed when you went off the air when the whole tech TV and all of that.
Imagine my disappointment. That was my living.
But no, that's why I'm glad you're back.
That's why we created Twit. Yeah. That's why we did this. It's the poor man's version, but we do it. Yeah.
The question I have actually probably is for Mikah more than you, but it's about the HomePod Mini, and can get some additional sounds for the alarms, because there's very limited for that. On the iPhone, there seems to be a ton of different sounds, and especially that really horrible one that just will wake up the dead. On the iPod or on the HomePod Mini, there's just very limited, and it's very muted sounds. There's nothing like that'll really wake you up.
Yeah, that's a good question. So you are, I assume, just speaking out loud to the device to say set an alarm.
Right.
Yeah.
And I've gone into settings, and they have some choices, but there's like 4 or 5 or 6 different alarms you can set on through your iPhone on the Home app.
Right.
This was on Amazon's Echo, but I wonder why Apple wouldn't offer this. On the Echo, you could say, "Wake me up at 6 a.m." by playing "Rippling Waters" by the Nitty Gritty Dirt Band, and that will set an alarm with that as the music. Mm-hmm. But that is, of course, Amazon's Echo.
Yeah, this is a good question. I've never tried to change the alarm. I have a feeling that this is something that you could achieve through almost certainly it's something that you can achieve through shortcuts. But as far as...
Really?
Yeah. Because basically what you'd do is you'd set a time-based shortcut, and you would say, change the output of the audio to my HomePod at this time, and then play this song or play whatever. You can even put a sound. You can encode the sound and then play it back.
So here's an article from January of last year. HomePod Software 16.3, how to use ambient sounds in HomePod alarms, thanks to our Club Twit Discord. So how do you do it? In the Home app on your iPhone or iPad, tap the HomePod you'd like to set up. Scroll down to the alarm section, then tap New. After you've entered alarm times, tap Play Media.
Oh, there you go, Play Media.
Then choose Media, and you can play ambient sounds.
I wonder why it doesn't just give you access to play whatever sounds you want.
You should be able to play anything in your library, right? Are you doing it right now?
I'm looking at it, and I don't see...
It's just the ambient sounds. Like, having a crackling fireplace is not going to wake me up in the morning. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Unless I think, the house is burning down.
Let me see. Play Media, choose Media. Oh, yeah, I could play something from Apple Music.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay. You can play any audio then.
Yeah, so basically, and if we want to, here, let me go ahead and share my screen. This is quite simple. And we've talked about this before, I think, on the show as well. You can add anything that you want to your Apple Music library that's a sound. So if you wanted to, you could go online and find a sound that you wanted. I'm on AirPlay 1. But basically what you do is you tap New Alarm, and then here you would choose, instead of play tone, you choose play media. You can use the current volume of that device, or you can set a custom volume to say, I want those to play at 100%. And then you choose media, and ambient sounds is something that Apple just makes available to you. But if you choose Apple Music, you can go to browse, but if you go to library, this can be stuff that you've added to your Apple Music library, or you can decide that you want to wake up every morning to Texas Hold'em by Beyonce, which is totally understandable.
That's a good song. But a word of warning, if you add it to your, you play it a lot, then Apple from then on is going to start offering you country music.
That's true. That's a good
Did you
point.
notice that?
I didn't think about that.
All of a sudden, we're listening in the car to like new music. It's all country.
Oh, that's funny.
Because Lisa can't stop playing Beyonce's new song, which is a great song. Okay, so you add a new alarm, and you can actually choose media for that new alarm. Very nice.
So you kind of have to just, if there's a specific sound that you'd like to have, just treat it as if it's music and drag it into your Apple Music library. It'll sync between your devices. Then you could choose that as, the sound that you want.
That also you can use, by the way, to make your own ringtones.
Exactly. Yep.
I was in my psychiatrist's office when it rang earlier this week. I have a lot of very weird ringtones. Let's see, turn on the sound. But the one I like is, you might like this also, is a little nostalgic.
This is amazing.
That's a good ringtone.
Yeah, it is.
It's the Twit theme. Yeah. For Lisa, I have this.
Yeah, okay.
I don't know why. Or this.
That's
Anyway.
good. That Rihanna song is about an abusive relationship. So
No, I know. Actually, it's funny. I never listened past her singing.
Oh.
And then all of it, is it Jay-Z who's coming on
Eminem.
there? Eminem. Oh, it's Eminem. That's right. And he's like whipping her with chains. And I'm going, wait a minute. That's not the song I meant. But I don't ever hear that part because it only plays
Just Rihanna's
part.
Phew.
Thank you. This is a good one for an alarm. Lisa hates this when I have this as my alarm. It starts with a big symbol. You know what it is. You picked it out right away. John knows what it is. This is a great alarm, though.
It is. This would wake me up. I'm up.
And I do. I leap up and I put my arms in the air and I say, it's me. Ready for the day. Lisa uses for her alarm, it drives me crazy, a ringtone for the phone. So when her alarm goes off, I always think the phone is ringing.
Oh, no.
You can do that.
Yes.
Not recommended.
Brother and I are big sci-fi fans, so I have that sci-fi tone.
I love that. Yeah. You could do the Twilight Zone theme. You could do all sorts of fun things.
I like that fanfare for the common man.
Isn't that good? Because it's an alarm.
Yes, that'll get you up.
It gets you up.
Okay, well that really answers the question because I had seen that media, but I hadn't thought that I could add. I thought that was just, music from the Apple One or Apple Music Plus, but you can actually add other things to your library and then put it in there. Okay, that'll work.
Wonderful to talk to you.
Yeah, and great question.
Happy Mac anniversary.
Yeah,
actually,
well,
yesterday was Steve Jobs' 16th. It would have been Steve Jobs' 69th birthday. So that's a sad one. Yeah.
Yep. Kind of hibernating because of all of the between the Formula One last year and the Super Bowl this last month. It's been a mess out here. So locals have been staying. What?
And now I see NASCAR's coming. NASCAR's got a 3-day event in a couple of weeks or a week. So yeah, you live in Party Town, USA, Las Vegas, Nevada.
And I'm like being a homebody because it's just nuts to get around the strip.
Lisa and I briefly considered retiring to Las Vegas just because there's always a party. And we thought, but what we were going to do was get a condo in one of the casinos up above it. So you just get in the elevator, you go downstairs and da 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 da.
Well, the church that I did some part-time work as an organist is like a block from Allegiant Stadium.
Oh, wow.
And so they asked me, just a week before the Super Bowl, could you do the 12 o'clock mass on Super Bowl Sunday? You can imagine my one-word answer.
There's no way to get there. You'd have to walk.
Yeah, I don't know why they didn't just cancel the masses because it was ridiculous.
Wow. But you're lucky to live in a very fun town. That's especially for sports fans.
A lot of good concerts and definitely
true.
Yeah. Have you seen anything in the Sphere yet? Did you see U2 in the Sphere?
No, that's a little pricey for me right now. I mean, I think it's like $60 or $70 just to see the show, let alone a concert.
Yeah. They have a movie that plays there. Yeah, I briefly went and looked at the Bono tickets, and my credit card said, no, no, not going to do it.
So anyway, but yeah, I'll take advantage. I mean, the Smith Center has got a lot of concerts and
stuff,
shows and stuff. So it's
a wonderful
definitely not bereft of opportunities to go hear concerts and see plays and everything. So
have a wonderful Sunday. Take care.
You too. Thank you, guys.
Thank you for the call.
Igor Ackerman in our Club Twit Discord says, don't do this in an apartment. Don't have a loud alarm. He says, my neighbor's alarm was Amy McDonald's This Is the Life for a few years. I can't stand that song ever since. Yeah, that's a good point. You don't want them to be. It's nice, though, because it used to be for a long time, you'd have a bell ringing was your alarm, and then it was electronic beeping was your alarm.
Yep.
But I have all my when I was a kid, I had a clock radio, and I would have the radio come on. I didn't mind that. Well, it was news radio, and I actually vividly remember some very bad news from the 60s.
Waking you up?
Waking me up.
Oh, that's not fun.
Yeah. Let's see. What else should we do? Should we take another call? We got the Giz
We're
Wiz.
6 minutes out from
I think we should
Giz.
just go to...
Can we do an email? Oh, we could do
We could go to Dick Early?
He's on the line.
Well, why not?
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, joining us now from Disneyland, Mad Magazine's maddest writer, and the Giz Wiz, our Gizmo Wizard. Here is the cover of the
Delightful
new Mad,
cover.
which is absolutely awesome. It shows Taylor Swift with her new boyfriend, number 87 on the Kansas City Chiefs, Alfred E. Newman.
What?
And it is the Love Stinks issue, which is even better. Yeah. Good cover. So that's the only thing they're updating now, though, is...
Yeah, they and fold-ins.
Oh, good. Oh, yeah, because look, Tay-Tay and Travis are in the fold-in. But I won't fold it in because no spoilers.
Yeah, no spoilers.
You don't want to ruin it. Yeah.
Dick joins us every month to talk about a gizmo or a gadget. What you got out there for Gizmo?
Well, you know what? When I have time, I roam through Amazon looking for things that might be unique. And I came across a picture of a pirate ship. And now that I have no boat and the marina is closed, I thought, you know what? I'm going to buy this and make it my headboard because it's 3 by 5 feet.
Whoa.
And so, yeah, see, that's it.
It's beautiful. It almost looks like a Mad Magazine cover. I'm looking for Alfred E. Newman.
It almost does.
Yeah.
And then I found out about the company. I think it's called Belco, Belco. And they make backgrounds up to 10 by 20 feet.
Woof. I love it. And these are on fabric, right?
These are on fabric. And Leo, this
great.
was $10.
What? Just $10?
And now you have some sort of lighting arrangement in your bedroom.
Yes, you know what? I also, on an old Gizwiz show, I did a thing called the Mecha Man.
I remember that, yeah.
Which is a projector.
Dick, you're really getting into it. This is your little bedroom boat. He's in a captain's outfit. He's got this is hysterical.
And the stuff on the wall, too?
Yeah.
I have my captain's hat,
your
my
chronometer,
faux captain shirt.
your naval chronometer on the wall. Wow.
And then so Dennis said, you know what? The thing ends before the ceiling of your bedroom. Why don't I'm an artist, paint a mask that goes all the way to the ceiling? And I said, you know what? I'm going to buy running lights.
So those are real lights on a painted mast. Good Lord, man.
Oh, this is lovely.
You're going to wake up one day and say, what's happening? Where am I?
I'm on a boat.
Oh, no, I wake up every morning by throwing up.
I'm feeling a little seasick. Wow. I love the little additional mast that Dennis put there. That's great.
Yeah, and then, so we had that up for 2 days, and Dennis said, it still drives me crazy. To show you that it's
just
fabric,
cloth.
it's washable.
It's like a tapestry, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Can
you get any picture on this?
You know what? I put a link into their catalog. You can get a castle. You can get a swimming pool. You can get an a huge office. Actually, if you hung it in back of you, it would look like
That's
you are
the
in,
real purpose for it.
Yeah, it looks like you are in a gigantic office with stainless steel fixtures.
Who needs a green screen?
Exactly.
Well, it's better than a green screen because you can change them every day, and you don't need a computer. You don't need anything. I think it's a great idea.
Do you have to
and that
feed
little
the parrot?
Yeah. The parrot is an old toy from Wowie.
I remember
used
that.
To,
yeah.
You remember that?
Yeah.
And he would ask for a cracker, and if you put the cracker in his mouth, that triggered the thing for him to make chewing sounds.
By the way, so the one you have is a little small. How big is this? Like 5 feet?
I got the 3x5.
3x5. The Office one for $17.89 comes at 7x5, which really is perfect for a backdrop, so people won't think you're in your bedroom.
How are these so inexpensive?
They go up to 10x20 feet,
look.
and I think.
Oh my God! For $100 for that. Though.
Okay, there's.
But
that.
How much is it worth to not have to go to the office every day? This is cheaper than a WeWork, that's for sure.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's super cool.
And that little guy that makes the clouds move and the nebulas, that's $26 on Amazon.
Yeah, you kind of need, because this is so static, I'm thinking it'd be nice to cut little holes in the fake windows and then put something else so that the light could change. Maybe it'd become dark. Maybe I'm overthinking.
Yeah, suddenly we're going back to the green screen again.
I'd love to do this, John, though, for our studio backdrop, and then I could go home, and I just need a thing for Mikah, just where he could put his head. So
the parrot. We cut out the parrot.
Yeah, but it just have a little hole, and then I could put a screen behind it, and then Micah's face could move. His body would never move, but nobody would notice. And then his face would move, and they'd think he was here.
Yeah.
Stop moving your foot.
Nope.
It's ruining the illusion. Wow. This is from a company called Bellico?
Bellico, yes.
Okay.
And $105, that's for one that is 10x20 feet.
Look at all the ones. Oh, here's
like a vineyard.
Here's an old house. It says it's Jerusalem. But it could be anywhere in the world.
I'm standing outside of Jerusalem.
These are really
They're great fun.
Reporting to you live from a golden field.
Golden glitter. Or just, yes, I spent a lot of money to put up a stone backdrop in my house.
You could say, Mom, the reason I'm not writing you is I'm in a prison.
Actually, now that I see this, I think John Fetterman, Senator Fetterman from Pennsylvania, is actually using this. It looks like he's in a dungeon. Maybe he's using this. Wow.
How funny.
Bellico.
Funny.
Wow. And then you need with it the Mecha Warrior Night Space Projector.
That really did add to it.
It makes a big difference.
That was cool. It looked like the clouds were kind of moving. That was pretty neat.
And the stars? You have stars on your ceiling. Is that from the Mecha as well?
It does, yes.
Yeah. Wow. I like that. Dick Debartolo, improving our life. Dozens of these. It's an unlimited supply. I want to buy them all.
Trade them like trading cards.
I really do. Then we could just have
Nebula.
a lot of variety. Rustic kitchen backdrop.
I'm about to put the pizza into the.
I will send this to Henry for his videos.
Yeah.
He just rented a houseboat.
Oh.
He's going to shoot his cooking videos on a houseboat. You know a little bit about that, don't you, Dick?
In there.
Yeah.
Yeah. In the San Francisco Bay.
Cool.
Yeah. I don't think it goes anywhere.
Okay.
What's the
that's all right.
stove situation like in one of those?
It looks like a regular house.
I rarely moved my houseboat after I set it up because it was...
Everything falls out of the cabin.
Yeah, exactly.
Ooh, look. I might have to get this for Michael, our Packers fan. He could pretend he's at the stadium. Look at that.
Look at that.
Oh, yeah.
That is pretty cool.
Yeah, and I could see this, as they say, kind of at a birthday party.
Yeah.
You've got your little photo booth section.
Is the resolution pretty good, Dick?
You know what? I think it is. I think it's sensational. I love that pirate ship thing that I have.
I love it. Oh, I could be in
the
Venice.
bookshelf.
I could be on a cruise ship. I could be in a royal palace. Oh, the Hobbit house. Oh, I definitely want a Hobbit house.
Reporting to you live from Hobbiton.
Hobbiton. Very nice. They're smart. Whoever is doing that. You think it's a Chinese company that just steals all these pictures and prints them on fabric at a...
All caps Bellico? Surely they're not.
But most of them have excellent ratings, so people do like them.
They like them, yeah. Dick Debartolo. But there's 20 pages of these, by the way.
Oh, boy. Dick, what have you done? Leo's not going to pay attention for the rest of the episode.
Oh, look, you could have the
know.
Death Star behind you.
Oh.
I have a bad feeling about this. Pretend you're on Tatooine.
Yeah. And the funny thing is on Amazon, they only have the pirate ship. And when I started doing some research, I found their catalog, and I put the link there on my website.
Well, if you click,
because
what
there's
I
a
did
ton of
is,
stuff.
so under the listing, there's the link to the company, Brand Bellico, and this is all Amazon available. These are all from Amazon.
Yes, exactly.
So you just have to work it, man. Sleuth around.
Oh, I don't like that one.
Racing car, forest cartoon.
Oh, that was, yeah, if you like Winnie the Pooh birthday or something.
You know, there's a couple from Jerusalem. I'm thinking maybe they're in Israel. I don't know. Dick, you missed your party,
Yeah,
bro?
oh, there you go.
Very cool.
Dick,
Well, I was going to buy that, but then my apartment looks just like it, so you wouldn't know which one.
We used to introduce Dick with disco music behind him every time. Dick Debartolo, Mad's Maddest writer, also offers, has a contest that you can participate in and win a copy of Mad Magazine. You'll be playing for the April issue. So does that mean the contest ends in a day or two? Is it close?
It ends, February 29th.
Ooh.
Just around
You get
the river.
one extra day just to do this. It's called the What the Heck Is It contest, a close-up of a gizmo or a gadget. I'm pulling it up. I just want to see what it looks like. See if I know in the back of my mind.
It's a blender for a mouse.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's good. That's very good.
Go to gizwiz.biz, click the What the Heck Is It button. There it is. If you know what that is, well, actually, you have a better shot at Mad Magazine if you don't know what it is, because there's only 6 Mad Magazines for the right answer. There's up to 12 for the best, wackiest, wrong answer. So better to come up with a bad answer, but you got a few more days. And do you not know if you're in this one yet? You must by now.
I'll take off on Love Connection.
It's got a little Alfred E. Newman. It really is the Valentine's Day issue. Little Alfred E. Newman Valentine you can send to your friends. This is my favorite part, though, is the gatefold. I really wanted. I'm very.
Those
tempted.
are all new. Johnny Sampson is doing the fold-ins.
Tay-Tay does not look too happy on the cover, though. She thought it was Travis Kelce. She saw the number, but then he took off his helmet, and she was horrified.
Who is this man?
Dick
And Leo, I have to tell you, the GizWiz just celebrated 18 years.
Wow.
I was just thinking that. So
That's
we started
You and I
that-
started it. The first show was February 20th, 2006.
Wow. And the show continues. So it's 18 years of greatness. I mean, true greatness. The show continues at gizwiz.tv. You're doing it with Chad Johnson now. In fact, you can watch the live recording Thursdays, 4:30 p.m. Pacific. And then there's the Giz Fizz, which we've traditionally done on a Wednesday evening. It's 5:30 p.m. Pacific. But both of those are now streamed on gizwiz.tv. Does Chad help you with all of that?
Chad set up OBS for me here.
Nice.
So,
you do it directly. Wow.
yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah, Giz Fizz I do right from here.
That's really awesome. Thank you, Chad. We love OMG.
Well, thank you for getting GizWiz going for 9 years.
Wow. Yeah.
I did it for half the total time. Is that
Half
it?
the show. Yeah, exactly. We just broke it in half.
And then I died, and Chad took over. The clones, you see, the clones won't do it. I don't know why. We tried, but the clones won't do it. Thank you, Dick Debartolo.
Oh, can I ask a quick question?
A tech question? Sure.
Yes. Okay, I have a bedroom Google Speaker, living room, and bedroom.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm sitting at my table where I eat, which is in my living room, but I pick up my phone and I ask Google a question, and it always answers in the bathroom.
I know, it drives me crazy.
And the door is closed.
It's not supposed to.
Is there a way to tell it just answer where I'm talking?
So what's frustrating about that is if you were using Amazon Echoes, then this is actually something that that company solved for. There was that realization, and so they have a built-in technology that uses it looks at how the sound is coming towards a device and sort of which one is quote unquote hearing it louder, and then it makes sure to respond to that. But I don't think Google has implemented similar technology.
Well, it's funny because the Amazon technology does not work all that well.
No, it's also not great, but it does try
it's
to
supposed
solve for
to.
it.
You mean Google doesn't do that at all? Doesn't say, "Oh, who's the nearest"?
I don't think it does. At least last time I looked into it, the only thing I could think, and it's kind of annoying, is you would just kind of keep the bathroom one or wherever it is, you'd hit the mute button on that, except when you're using it. So that way it doesn't hear you when you're in the other rooms. But then you have to remember to, you know what I mean? That's annoying, right? That's frustrating.
Yeah, it's kind of a
pain.
Yeah.
So are both of them screens, or is one of them just a speaker?
One is, they're both screens.
Because if one's a speaker and one's a screen, you can say the answer, and we'll only say it it won't show it. It'll only say it. Let me just see. I'm on the Google support. Your issue has been escalated to the Google product team. This is back in January 2022. Maybe there's some settings you can set. Let's see here.
All right, so it's nothing really simple, is what you're
I don't know.
saying.
Multiple devices respond to "Hey, you know who."
Yeah, so they have implemented a technology.
It says proximity, type of request, capabilities. That's why I knew that if you had one that had a screen and one didn't,
then that
you could help
difference.
it by saying "show me" or just say instead of "show me." But if they're both screens,
you could change the wake sensitivity of the device that's in the bedroom, bathroom, whichever was the one that's further away. So let's see, the
adjust how sensitive the Google Assistant is to "Hey Shmomo."
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, that could work.
So this feature is available on most speakers and smart displays, but only in some languages. Oy vey, Google. When you adjust the "Hey, you know who" sensitivity of your device, it applies to anyone who uses that device. So open the app. You do this on your phone. Tap home, touch and hold your speaker's smart display, and then device settings. And then under the audio settings, there is a "Hey, you know who" sensitivity. Choose how sensitive you. If you don't want to answer in the bathroom, you could say just don't be. You could say stop it.
Yeah. Okay. All right. That's good. That's very good.
Yeah.
Yay, we love it.
No, you should make a show about this kind of thing. It's a crazy plan.
I just don't think anybody would watch it. That's, This is actually technically the longest podcast we've ever done.
That's
because I started the radio show in January 2004. So we just celebrated 20 years of doing Ask the Tech Guys. So or of some kind, or the Tech Guy Show or whatever. So in a way, we're neck and neck, Dick, and someday you may catch up and beat us.
Yeah. Well,
Thank
it's
you,
great.
Dick.
Thanks so much.
Thank you, guys. It's great.
Always
Okay.
a pleasure.
And great question.
GizWiz.biz, and for the streams, GizWiz.tv.
Thank you, guys.
Debartolo. Thank you,
Bye-bye.
Dickie D.
Bye.
Goodbye, Dickie D. Goodbye. I feel like when he's leaving, it's like Dorothy leaving the Emerald City. Goodbye.
Goodbye. Yeah.
Goodbye.
Or what's Buddy leaving the North Pole? Bye, Buddy. Hope you find your dad.
Is that something is that from Frozen?
Elf.
Oh, Elf.
Bye, Buddy. Hope you find your dad.
I meant to watch that this Christmas. We're going to take a little break, pause, try to do the fold out, and we'll be back with more of your questions. 888-724-2884. Give us a ring and we'll make up an answer. You're watching Ask the Tech Guys. Leo Laporte, Mikah Sargent. I'm still trying to do this fold. I don't want to spoil it. You know, I hate it when you get a Mad magazine and it's already creased. I really hate that because then you don't. And maybe it's better if somebody did it right, but doing it right, I can never get those arrows to line up. Who should we take next, Mr. Anthony Nielsen, temporary producer?
Let's
Mountain Fold.
yeah, let's do the phone call.
Fun call. Okay, wait a minute. Don't tell me. Send to breakout room.
All right. Remember, caller, *6 to unmute.
Hello?
Hello.
Hi. What's your first name and where are you calling from?
Hi, this is Paul in Columbus, Ohio.
Hi, Paul. Welcome. What can we do for you?
An occasional caller. Well, this is a little different, but relates to programming.
Okay.
We've got Netflix and Hulu and a couple other things, but we dumped one of the services that has the news available also.
Oh.
Because it was like we're paying $40 a month for stuff that we weren't watching.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, you can download, I use Fire TV app, and you can download like MSNBC or CNN.
Right.
But then it wants your cable
Right.
subscription information.
Right.
Although I've read articles and it says that you can do it that way, which we don't have cable, or you can pay for it outright. But
Well,
I've never, when I go to that service, it's never available.
Depends on the service. So some services do offer so you're a cord cutter. You don't have cable service. It's all over the internet.
Correct.
Yeah. And and what device are you using? A Fire TV device? Is that the one you're using?
Fire TV,
Okay.
yeah.
So as a convenience for people who do pay for cable, a lot of these like Macs say, well, you don't have to buy it because you're already paying for it through the cable provider. Just give us the information of your cable provider. But you can buy some of them over the top. And over the top means without a cable subscription. Max is one, for instance. I know it's like $15, $16 a month. Now, you want news, so there are, CBS has a channel, NBC has a channel. Probably the best bet would be Peacock. That would give you all the NBC news, plus all the other stuff that's on Peacock. And you can subscribe to Peacock over the top. In fact, I don't think it matters if you have a cable subscription. So that's the first one to look at is the Peacock app. I think they'll have MSNBC if that's the news you want.
Some of the programs they do, yeah.
Yeah, this is the problem is that when you unbundle, now it's all a la carte, and it ends up being probably just as expensive because you have to buy each individual thing. What I do, and actually it turns out this is the number one choice now for cord cutters, is I subscribe to YouTube TV. Now, not cheap. It's almost $75 a month. But it's basically a cable subscription, and it gives you all the local news channels as well as the national cable news channels. And, you get your locals, basically. And so that is, in effect, replacing the cable subscription. But as you can see by the price, it's not saving you any money. But that way I get the locals and I don't need to have a cable subscription. If you don't care, you don't say, well, I need CBS, NBC, and ABC News. You could pick one. ABC is, I think, Hulu, right? I can never remember who owns what. Yeah, Disney owns Hulu. Yep. Disney owns ABC. So I think Hulu would have ABC. Peacock would have NBC. I don't know who has CBS. I think they do. They go their own way. I think there might be a CBS app. Let's see here. I'm looking.
So we still have the frustration of the.
Yeah, you got to pay for some. Yeah.
Having to buy it. Well, I don't mind paying for it, but I don't want to pay for stuff I'm not using. So I would.
I completely understand.
MSNBC
now,
CNN,
MSNBC you can watch on the internet for free. So let's see what they're saying. How to stream MSNBC without cable. This is from Rolling Stone. Live TV streaming service. Okay, that's DirecTV or Hulu or Sling or MS or YouTube TV. They're showing you all of those. Fubo's free. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. Fubo's free, isn't it?
I thought so.
No, it's not completely free.
Oh.
How to watch it for free? Well, You could do complimentary live streams for several days. Wow, these are all trial versions. I guess there's no way to watch MSNBC for free, unfortunately. Let me see.
Yeah, it used to be years ago. It was on. I haven't found the stream on the internet that was free, a web page, but I don't think it's there anymore.
Yeah. Peacock is probably the best bet, and Peacock's cheap. So
yeah, like I say, I don't mind paying something reasonable for it, but I just don't want to have to buy another like YouTube or one of the other ones.
Yeah, Peacock is $6 a month with ads, but you don't mind the ads.
Yeah,
and you get a lot more. You also get some live sports. In fact, the NFL was doing one of their things on Peacock. I remember one of the playoff games was on Peacock. But you also get not local news, but you get national news. From NBC.
And they're playing Oppenheimer too.
Yeah. Well, I bet you. I don't know. Do you have to pay for that additionally? No, maybe not.
Available exclusively on Peacock.
Nice. So yeah, Peacock is. So unfortunately, what happened is every company decided, oh, we need our own app. You either pay a lot for a unified app from Hulu, Sling, DirecTV, Fubo, or you get them onesie twosie a la carte. The nice thing, and most people do this, is say you want to watch the news because there's an election coming up. You pay for it till after November, and then you cancel it. Or people turn them on and off all the time, and I think that's another way to go. You're only paying a monthly $6 a month is not too bad. Yeah, I gave up on news a while ago. It's too depressing. I understand exactly how you feel.
Well, that's a point too. Yeah,
but then
I'm one of those old guys.
Yeah,
I'm older than you are.
Yeah, no, we old guys, we like to sit in front of our TV all day and shake our canes. Why I oughta?
Well, I found a really interesting website on YouTube. It's LA Flights Live, where they've got at the airport. These guys do airplane spotting. And it's like bird watching.
Yeah, Johnny Jett, I think, has talked about that. It turns out there's the best place is the In-N-Out Burger next to LAX. Has an excellent view, plus the food's not bad. So you could just sit there all day. And, I'm not surprised. In fact, there's a 4K. No, that's not. How do you say LA what?
LA Flights.
Flights.
Live.
Let me just check this out. Oh, look at that. So you could just stream stuff taken off all day from the airport.
Wow, and that's like someone running the camera.
I got that from the Airplane Geeks podcast.
Yeah,
guys were talking about it.
Oh, guess who's on the other line right now?
Oh, really?
Our airplane guy. Yeah. Mikah's on the line. I see his smiling face.
Well, tell Mikah Paul says hi. I love the podcast.
Isn't it a great podcast?
Is waving.
Actually, why not? Thank you, Paul. There's some answers for you. You have to buy something. And then you have to decide which thing you want to buy.
For it.
Yeah. I think $5.99 for Peacock. Yeah, I end up paying for like most of those services just because there's a show, there's Below Decks on Peacock, but then I got to have Paramount Plus for Yosemite, and then they get you coming and going. Netflix, I'm watching Drive to Survive. Yeah, TV's not free, but you know what? It never was free, really. We just thought it was, but with all those ads. And it's the same thing we're going through. Advertisers are just getting cheesier and cheaper and cheaper. And so, everybody wants now to put the cost back on the viewer, I'm afraid. The days of free content are gone, or almost gone.
Yeah, you're on my list for subscription. So
thank you.
Getting into that.
I appreciate that. I know everybody's tired of having more subscriptions. Paul. Thank you.
Thanks so much.
We should say hi to Mikah. He's there. He's sitting there waiting for us. Now, how do I hang up? I just press hang up, and then I pick it up. You showed me this like a year ago, but I don't. Send to breakout room. Okay, Mikah in Maine, our airplane geek.
On the way.
I'm still watching LAX. So apparently,
somebody running that camera.
It looks like some human is actually aiming it each time, so you can watch the planes take off.
Now, Does that change? Isn't the takeoff just this? Like, what's?
It's the same every time unless it crashes.
Oh, is that what you're hoping for?
No, I don't think. I hope not.
What are they? Yeah, what are they looking for?
Micah,
is there nuance?
have you watched this channel, Micah?
Maybe there's nuance I don't know.
There are a number of channels where you can watch airplanes take off from all over the world. There's somebody that does it at LHR in London. There's somebody that does it in Paris. There's people all over that can do that. And it's a lot of fun to watch. I forgot exactly what airline net. No, I can't remember the name of it right now. I don't watch it. When I want to watch an airplane, I drive down to my local airport. I'm only a couple of miles away, and I sit in the spotting area and I take pictures. And it's
it like bird watching where you're looking for a Airbus 380 or so? You're looking for a rare.
A lot of people do that. Some people will take down tail numbers. You can use an app called Flight Radar 24 and see who's flying all over you and flying around.
I use that. I've used that. I like that. Yeah.
Is it like?
And then there's.
You're going, oh wow, that pilot pulled the wheels up too soon. Like what do you get out of?
Well, I've done that when I've watched my friend Captain Jeff from the airline pilot guy, and I said, "Oh God, Jeff, you slammed that down. That wasn't really good." We tease each other about that all the time. But and by the way, Jeff has never slammed down an airplane.
No.
But
any landing you can walk away from, right?
Pretty much. And then there's also Live ATC. It's another great app where you can put in you can be anywhere in the world and listen to any tower anywhere in the world, but you can listen to the local tower and hear the air traffic controllers and the ground control talk to the plane as they're coming in. And that, if you're into that kind of thing, that's something you can listen to as well. It's a great app to have. And, if you're bored and you're driving around, you can listen to it in the car.
It's a little more soothing than listening to the network news, I think. This is London.
Well, I have another solution.
So there's a live. By the way, there's a live camera operator because they're. So it's crazy. Okay, go ahead. You have a solution
for Paul?
Yes.
Have you ever heard of the app you can get on Roku or Fire TV? Local Now.
Oh, is it free?
Local Now is a free app, and you can get some NBC News and CBS News, local, sometimes national. They have Washington Post News. They have a bunch of other things that are available. You can plug in your city if you're online, and it takes it off your Roku or your Fire Stick, and you can get a number of different free newscasts, as well as a lot of other things on there that I don't really care for, but other people might.
Is it's ad supported? Is that the idea?
Ad supported, yeah. And you can get Bloomberg News and Bloomberg Television and Washington Post Television and all those other things are available there on Local Now.
Nice.
I think it just started picking up local PBS stations as well.
So this has been a constant tug of war between the local stations that want to make money on streaming, even though they're already making money on advertising, and companies. Remember Aereo, and they lost the big Supreme Court case, and they had to go out of business. They had little dime-size receivers that they put on the roof in New York City, and people could get their TV from there. And
not only are they making money on advertising, they're making money by selling their signal to the cable company, which is really just a community antenna that I'm renting, yet I have to pay the cable company in order to get a local signal that's being broadcast for free, that's being sold for advertising.
I got them started.
It drives me nuts.
Yeah, I know what you mean. The must-carry rules is a very complicated world, and it was really all about the transition from a stable system that worked called broadcast television to this cable and then network internet-based television. And it's been just a mess through this whole transition. I suppose it'll settle down at some point. Probably everything will be over the top, I would guess.
Yeah. Well, even if I want to get my over-the-air signal over the air, put up an antenna, but I still want to get cable TV, I still have to pay $23.95 a month for local television stations, even if I'm never going to watch it. There's no choice in the matter. Let's not
I'm with you.
Don't get me
started. I'm with you. I spend a good portion of my income just to watch TV. It's very expensive.
But I have two questions for you today. One that I think might be for Mikah, and one would be for both of you. But I have an iOS annoyance, Mikah.
Okay.
And from one Mikah to another, please help me.
All right.
The auto brightness on my phone is great. I'm driving in the car and it's during the day and it gets dark and it dims up and it's perfect. But sometimes it locks out and it's just full brightness no matter what I do. And the only way to fix it is go to the auto brightness setting, turn it off,
Yep.
and turn it back on. And then everything's fine up until it does it again.
Yep.
Do you have any idea what it is or how to fix that permanently?
Okay, so I have had this happen too.
It happens on my Mac, by the way, as well.
Oh, that's annoying.
So it must be an Apple thing.
I've never had that happen there. So the problem is that you have two kind of competing methods of changing brightness. This has been my experience. If I ever touch that brightness dial, bring it up, bring it down, Apple has to balance between the choice that you've made by bringing up or bringing down the brightness and the auto brightness settings. At what point do we stop listening to what the person has chosen to do with the brightness and switch back to automatically brightening or dimming the display?
Well, let me just cut you off for a minute.
Please, go ahead.
I never touch
You
the
don't
brightness
ever touch
button.
it?
Ever.
Really? Well,
Yeah.
then that's just straight up, it's just not working as you would expect. So to go further with that, anytime that I've done that and it gets stuck and it seems like it's either too dark or too bright, I do the same thing. I go into the settings, I toggle the auto brightness thing on and off. My one suggestion that I can make that will speed things up is almost every settings page has kind of a secret link that exists for that specific page. And so you can kind of avoid having to tap to get to that specific area using a shortcut. So I have a shortcut that I set up called Auto Lock. And what it does is it takes me directly to the page in settings that lets me turn off the auto lock setting for the display. And I use that whenever I'm doing shows. So that way my screen doesn't dim and then turn off completely. And then after I'm done with the show, I use that auto lock shortcut again. So this would be something that I'll have to make and we'll include in the show notes afterward because I can't look at the settings links right now. They're huge, they're long. So you could speed it up by basically creating a little tile that you just tap on and it'd get you there quicker. Unfortunately,
that would be great.
Yeah,
it always happens in the car. And when I'm in the car, and I'm driving along and I got the screen shining in my face because I have it set up, on the dash and the holder, and then I driving along and I can't stop because I'm on the highway, and I got to toggle through it to try to get to it. And, it's
that's
scary.
Exactly.
It's either way, if I leave it on, it's scary. If I turn it off, it's scary.
Yeah. So we can help speed it up at least. But the only other thing I can, suggest is if you have the time, submitting feedback to Apple about it. You're not the first person that I've heard at least say that that's been an issue. I've certainly experienced it. And yeah, that seems to be the fix right now that we have is going in and turning off and then back on auto brightness, which is frustrating.
Well, it's just, I feel better to know that I'm not alone.
You're not alone.
The two Mikahs share the same problem.
We do.
And he's the host of iOS Today. If he can't figure out how to solve it,
yeah,
no one can.
Absolutely.
Right? I mean, he lives, breathes, and eats iOS. Are you excited about the new iPads coming out?
Of course.
I think I'm going to be on vacation when they have their event, so it's all on your broad shoulders.
They are rather broad.
There is rumor that Apple will have new iPads in March.
Yep.
Anyway, what is your question for the two of us?
Speaking of cable companies, and I'm going to just say how much I hate Spectrum. The people I talk to there are nice,
awful.
But I hate the company.
Yeah. Everybody hates.
And
there was once a poll some years ago on the thing you hate the most in life, and the cable companies came in ahead of heart attacks. So that gives you some idea of how
I can recover from a heart attack. I can never.
No, it's true. It's true.
So I had an issue with my Spectrum app. I wanted to go pay the bill, and the Spectrum app wasn't working. So I called Spectrum, and I said, I'm having trouble with the app. And they said, no, the app's working. The app's working fine. I said, no, it's the app. So I'm dealing with, their people, and they say, well, let's reset the modem. No. Don't need to reset the modem. The modem is fine. This has nothing to do with the modem. Everything else is great. Well, we really need to reset the modem. No, I really don't think so. Well, it's the only thing we can do. Let me reset. Don't do it. They reset the modem. Modem gets reset, and I've got a TP link, my own modem, a TC7620. It's an older modem, works fine, was working great. So I said, it's not coming back on. It's not coming back on. Oh, yeah, we blacklisted your modem. We didn't tell you. It doesn't work anymore. You need to get a new modem.
No.
I said, great. I'm supposed to do a podcast in an hour and a half. I need this working now. Send out somebody with a modem because I don't have time to go buy one.
Did they say why they blacklisted your modem?
Yeah, because in theory, it's not supposed to get 300 megabytes down and 20 up, although it does absolutely fine.
Because it's not a DOCSIS 3 modem.
It's not a DOCSIS 3.1. It's a DOCSIS 3. It's not a 3.1. Anyway, I ended up.
That's, by the way, not about speed. They're lying to you. It's about their control.
I know.
It's about how much control of you they have.
Yep. And the reason I found that out is because when I made a big stink about it and got to a supervisor and got them to call dispatch to get somebody out there, and dispatch called me, the woman from, because they said they couldn't turn it back on.
Right.
The woman from dispatch said, "Oh, I used that modem at home. No problem. I reset it. Everything's fine." They could do it. They just didn't want to.
Oh. Right.
So it's working. Right. And I ordered a new modem. I ordered a Motorola MB8611, which is taking weeks to get here because apparently Motorola is going out of the modem business.
Oh, my
This was
gosh.
Wirecutter's top choice.
Yeah.
Wirecutter has now pulled it from their top choice because Motorola isn't going to be making modems anymore.
That's what I use at home.
Another couple of weeks.
That's what I use at home. Oh, my.
The same one?
Yeah, I have the 1000. Yeah. Oh, man.
Yeah, and I wasn't sure if I can still cut it off and because it hasn't shipped yet. I had to order from a third party on Amazon, brand new. Is there another modem you recommend, or should I just get this one? And the dispatcher I talked to said it's the one they use at home, and I'm sure it's going to be fine. But I didn't know if it's going to be discontinued, if there's something better for just my own modem.
So if Motorola goes out of the cable modem business,
I'm trying to think of the name of the other one.
Aris?
Yeah, Aris. Thank you. So I basically have only ever used Motorola and Aris modems. And when I moved here, I think the Aris that I wanted was unavailable at the time, and so I ended up just getting a Motorola. But previous to that, I always used Aris as my modem of choice.
And I do think Aris is as good, if not better, than Motorola. So I don't think there's any hardship to that.
And by the way, it wasn't cheap. Any of the other modems were, under $100 to get a 3.1. The cheapest one I could find, $220.
Oh, that's
crazy.
Outrageous. It really is outrageous. So this used to be a Motorola product, by the way.
Yeah.
And now Aris is distributing it. Wow. There's no reason why it should cost that much more. So DOCSIS 3, don't get a DOCSIS 3, it sounds like, if you're on Spectrum.
Yep.
The DOCSIS 3 is the most economical, of course. The Surfboard 6183. You're going to have to get a 33 or...
Yeah, I think the Surfboard 2000 was the one that I had.
The Surfboard 2000! Wow. Yeah, well, I hope my modem doesn't die, I guess. And I certainly hope the cable company doesn't reset it.
That is wild.
That's
and then
that's a euphemism. We're going to reset it. We're going to break it.
Yeah. And I said, why didn't you tell me it was blacklisted before? Couldn't you have sent me an email? Couldn't you have told me before you reset it?
Yeah.
And then I talked to the supervisor. Yeah, she should have done that, but I can't do anything now.
Yeah, it's too late.
What do you mean you can't do anything now?
Wow, that's so
Don't you just love
annoying.
it?
That is so bad.
So the Surfboard, the DOCSIS 3.1 Surfboard 8200 is $138. That's not awful.
Yeah, that's the one that I used for a very long time, and it was rock solid.
Yeah.
Great.
And Scooter X has one in a box that he's willing to send you, so...
That would be nice.
You want to send it to Mikah, Scooter X? We can keep this all in the family, so to speak. Yeah,
that would be wonderful.
That's amazing behavior. I guess, they want you to use 3.1.
Well, they want me to use their modem so that way it's a modem and a router, and then they can sell it. Well, they give it to me for free, but then they can use their phone service on it. Because that's how they have it set up.
Sure,
and
that's what you want.
I'm not doing that.
And the local access points, too.
Yep.
They will make those available.
Oh,
yep.
The problem is we can't get rid of these guys because even if you're not paying for cable TV, in most areas, you don't have many choices for internet. It's very common in most areas of the country to have only two choices, the phone company or the cable company, both of which are rapacious predators.
Preach.
Monopolists. Right. And that's your choice. So that's why we love companies like SonicNet and my good friend Dane Jasper, because they're providing competition for these incumbents, and because you can get, John's got symmetric gigabit, so a gigabit up and a gigabit down for $60 a month.
And I can get that now. Consolidated Communication, the company that bought out Verizon, can sell me that, but it's going to be $150 a month.
Yeah, see, that's the outrageous thing.
Yeah, so I'd rather pay what I'm paying now and deal with it.
I'd love to get off the cable teat, but I am still. Comcast
There's the title, Off the Cable Teat.
Off the Cable Teat. Well, we were looking at buying a house closer to town. We didn't, but we were looking at it. And, of course, the first thing I do is type in the address into SonicNet.
Absolutely.
And it was supported. And I thought, that's the selling point.
Yep.
It can get fiber optic cable from SonicNet for $60. But there were other things that were deal breakers, so we didn't buy them.
Well, I've got to tell you one more thing, if you have just a minute.
Yes.
And it's about the Airplane Geeks podcast. We did an episode on in-flight connectivity, and we had a gentleman named David Helgfat on, who's a chief executive for Smart Skies Network that takes care of in-flight connectivity. And I'm one of the hosts, and I'm asking all these technical questions about internet and about Wi-Fi and about hooking it up on the airplane, and we did a great interview. I thought it came out wonderful, and people have liked it. This was episode 784, and we finished it up, and the other host said, Mikah, how do you know so much about that? I thought you knew airplanes. What do you know about internet and Wi-Fi and connecting that? And I said, don't you guys listen to Leo Laporte and Micah? I said, I learned it all from them.
Thank you.
And so anyway, so you guys have educated me, and I greatly appreciate that.
Well, thank you.
If you love airplanes, you're going to love the Airplane Geeks podcast.
Scroll down a little bit more. You'll see.
I'm looking for you. I'm searching. Here's all the wonderful people on it. There's Micah. Mikah of Maine, the very famous Mikah of Maine, flying. It looks like a helicopter on this one.
I am in a helicopter in that one. Yeah.
Rotor wing. That's very nice. Airplane Geeks podcast, very much recommended. Wonderful show, and you guys do a great job. And thank you for plugging us.
Thank you very much.
I'll give you the reverse plug.
Really
Thank you,
appreciate
Micah.
it.
Great to talk to you.
Thank you for your help with everything. Good talking with you guys, and have a great show. I'll be listening. So make sure it's right.
Well, we'll do our best. Yeah. Let's take a little time out. You can breathe for a moment, and then I'm going to give Micah a noogie.
Not a noogie.
You're watching Ask the Tech Guys. Micah Sargent, Leo Laporte. I have control. I do have control of the bouton, but I want to defer responsibility. I basically don't want to be responsible for a caller.
About a video.
Let's try a video call, a voicemail, as it were.
Hi, my name is Jeremy, and I'm recording this in Regina, Saskatchewan, Canada. I'm switching over from LastPass to Bitwarden, and I have no problem exporting my vault from LastPass into a CSV file to import it in Bitwarden. But I also have passwords saved on Keychain on my iPad and my iPhone. But Apple support tells me without a Mac computer that I don't have, I only have a Windows computer, that I can't export all of my Keychain passwords to a CSV file all in one go. I have to airdrop them one at a time, and that's not good for me because I have a lot of passwords saved in Keychain. I'm wondering if you can suggest an alternate method other than airdropping them one at a time.
No kidding.
Thank you.
Thank you. Great question.
Great, absolutely.
So, should mention Bitwarden is a sponsor. We love Bitwarden. It's a password manager. I should also say that Apple's Keychain, if you are only using Apple devices, is a very good password manager. But the negative is well, I guess you could do it on Windows. They have a way to do it on Windows now, which is good, but you can't do it on Linux. I like to have a cross-platform password manager, so that's why I use Bitwarden. Bitwarden will import data. He's in an unusual situation. He doesn't have a Mac.
Yeah.
Right? I guess he only has an iPhone.
Yeah.
You can do it from, and this is the Bitwarden Help Center I'm looking at, import data from macOS and Safari. You can do it from Safari directly. In other words, Bitwarden, you don't even, it's a very straightforward thing. You export the passwords, and Bitwarden will import them. And then you can also do it from Safari or from an iCloud keychain. I bet you he has access to his iCloud. No.
So this is one of the most annoying and ridiculous. And
Apple doesn't want you to get them out of there.
I hate that. I hate this.
Yeah.
So when you use Safari, it has to be from a Mac to export your iCloud keychain passwords.
Oh.
The only other way is to do it piece by piece by piece,
as they told him.
Yeah. I hate that this is the case. It is, I think, wrong. Like it's just bad, and there should be other ways to export all of your iCloud keychain passwords than to do it piece by piece.
I wasn't aware of this.
Yeah, it's
there are very few. That's the only one I know of, password managers, that won't let you export it in a form, usually CSV, separated values, that some other password manager can read. And the only reason I can think that Apple doesn't do that is because they don't want you to move.
Right. It is. That's all I can say about it. It doesn't make sense. I don't know why it's that way. I don't know why they have not made this more possible. I don't know. The only thing I could think, there's no real reasonable method to go about pulling those passwords other than, I don't know, like getting a Mac and then returning it. It's like,
well, he's got his iPhone and he wants to move to Bitwarden. You can open Bitwarden. I presume you've got a computer, maybe a Chromebook or a Windows machine or whatever. You can open Bitwarden on there, and you don't have to airdrop them because you can't show them in the clear.
Yeah.
So you go to your password manager on your phone. You'll have to enter your password or your PIN ID to actually show the passwords. You can one by one show them. If you're doing that, yeah, you can airdrop them, which might be better if you have a long, complicated password. It'd be better to airdrop it, or copy paste or text message it to yourself. That would be a faster way to do it. Is to create a text file on your phone, a notes file on your phone, copy them all into the notes file, and then airdrop the single notes file over. At least you could do that once. But what a pain. I guess it's because, they do provide that faculty on a computer. I guess, is it harder to do on iOS? Are they worried that you're going to accidentally leave your passwords lying around in the clear?
I think that's got to be
Maybe that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the other thing, retcon. Yeah, if you know anyone who you truly trust and you can borrow their Mac just for the day, because all you'd need to do is log in, export your passwords, get that file, and then you would log out.
Yeah.
That's one way to do it.
Yeah. See if a friend has a iMac or a Mac lying around. Boy, that's too bad.
It's really bad. And so here's the good news. I think that this is going to be addressed, given that we are moving to this, passwordless future, and there's this passkeys technology. And between that and Apple's complications in the EU, the company wants to make data as portable as possible. I feel so that could push through some pressure.
They're actually off the hook with passkeys because when the FIDO Alliance set up passkeys, which I really like, this passwordless technology, they provided no way to move passkeys. So there is an easy way to move passwords, but there is no requirement for interoperability with passkeys. So it's my strong suggestion, if you want to move to passkeys, and I really think it's a good way to do it, it's a lot easier. My strong suggestion is not to use the browser or to use an operating system to do it, but to use 1Password or our sponsor Bitwarden, to use a third-party passkey-friendly password manager and store them there. I'll show you if I go to GitHub right now. Let's go into my browser. And I go to GitHub. GitHub supports passkeys. Oh, I'll have to log out to make this work. Let me quickly log out. Okay, so I'm going to sign out for GitHub. I go here, and this is just one site, but more and more I expect to see this. So my password manager is going to fill in, that's Bitwarden, the password, but then it's going to say, oh, you need two-factor authentication. Now, in the past, I've used a two-factor authenticator, but it says, oh, no, you have a passkey. Now, watch this. The browse Bitwarden pops up. That's where the passkey is stored, and I just confirm it. And that's all I need to do. And I think that's a really nice workflow that gives us two-factor authentication. I don't have to open a separate application.
Yes.
But more importantly, because I use Bitwarden everywhere, that passkey is everywhere. Bitwarden takes care of storing it securely.
And it works, cross-platform.
And that's, I think, a really nice workflow. Now, unfortunately, the number of sites that support this, 4 or 5.
Yeah.
Literally a handful. But boy, GitHub does it exactly how I would like to see every site do it. So the more sites that do this, the better. In other words, it doesn't have to be our sponsor. It could be 1Password. I don't know which other whether passkeys are supported by Dashlane and some of the others.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I know for sure 1Password and
Yep.
Bitwarden do. But choose a password manager that supports passkeys, and then that way, as we slowly do migrate sites over to the passkey two factors, this will automatic, and you do it in Bitwarden, it'll be automatic. I think it's a really great solution. And then what you want to do is really lock down your password manager. Make sure you have a really good, long, strong password. And in fact, I have two-factor turned on for Bitwarden as well. So I usually what I'll do is I'll say, ping my phone. Phone does Face ID. Face ID then gets sent back to Bitwarden and says, okay, you're you. But you can do that with a YubiKey too. But I think it's really nice to do it with Face ID.
I agree, yeah.
We're in, again, whenever you're in a transition, a disruption, it's going to be complicated for a while. Just like with cable TV, the broadcast to cable to internet, that disruption makes everything weird and complicated and expensive. We're in that transition period with passkeys right now. But in the long run, that's going to be a good transition. I think it's going to be a big improvement. Let's see.
Good question.
I have an email back here. Since we did a voicemail, let's be fair. Let's do an email. Password. Now, I did not know that.
Wow.
This is from Aiden. Hi, Micah and Leo. I have a lot of passwords in Apple Pay.
Oh, no. Is it literally the same question?
No. It's similar, though. It's good. It's related. A lot of passwords in Apple passwords, which I use when I use my iPhone or my iPad. I also use a PC, which I need for work. And I use Chrome with passwords saved to my Google account. So he's letting the browser save it. First question, is it foolish to use Google to store passwords and use it to remember passwords on my PC? No.
Not inherently.
Not inherently. That's a good way to answer it. Not inherently, which implies it's not great. And
which we'll get to, yeah.
Second question, if not, when I was setting up my new PC, I installed Apple iCloud Sync, which offers password support. This is what I was referring to. This is Apple's kind of janky way of giving you those iCloud passwords on a PC. Is this safer to use for passwords on my PC? If so, can I use Windows Hello to set it up if I don't have a camera or fingerprint reader on my PC? So 3 questions. What do you think?
So first and foremost, the question about using Google versus using Apple. So when it comes to, because the reason why you're asking that question is you're kind of wondering from a privacy standpoint. And you can trust that Google is not looking to your passwords as a way of gaining more access to who you are and what you're doing. So if you're thinking of it in terms of like, is Google a bad place to store passwords versus Apple being a bad place to store passwords? That's why I said not inherently. It's not as if, this is one more place where Google is pulling information and getting personal information about you. They don't need to do that. They've got it through so many different means. But as Leo and I have both talked about, every time you put your passwords in a new place, that is one more place that is a potential area where your passwords can be stolen. So if you have your passwords stored in Google and you have them in Safari and you use another third-party password manager and all of those places are potential areas where those passwords could be, breached and taken. So keeping them kind of in one place, it's easier for you. It means that as long as you're, using a universally synced option, that they are available elsewhere, and that again, you're not kind of opening yourself up to more means of getting at your passwords. The second question was...
Secondly, if not, and by the way, Google says it's better to use Chrome. For a long time, it wasn't, because when you unlocked Chrome, your password's in plain text, and I don't think that's a good idea. They said, well, you know, somebody would have to have access to your computer to do that, and okay. But now they do encrypt those, so that's good. The one point in their favor, and Tavis Ormandy of their Project Zero, security foundation or research team, has said this, and I think he's not wrong, is that when you use a third-party password manager, you have to use an extension, like the Bitwarden extension, the 1Password extension, the LastPass extension, that uses JavaScript. It's very possible that you'd either get a pirate extension that looks real but isn't, or there's a man in the middle. It's kind of less secure. So his point is, well, it's better to use Google Passwords because Chrome is not insecure. You're not using JavaScript. You're not using an extension. Okay. But it is limited to Chrome,
right?
Which is, like you said, that's not a great solution. I think you could reasonably use the app, not use the password extension on your browser, use the app, and it would be as secure.
Just do copy and paste, yeah.
I'm installing right now, you'll have to forgive me, the iCloud for Windows.
Oh, nice.
So that we can kind of demonstrate that, but I don't know if it'll happen in time. Whether it will use Hello is the question.
That is, how can you use Windows Hello if you don't have a Windows Hello technology, right?
You have to have Windows Hello. So it doesn't have to be a fingerprint reader, but it could be a camera. But he says he doesn't have either, right?
Yeah, that was my understanding. Well, so without those, then I don't know how you would Windows Hello.
I don't think you're using. I guess you could use the PIN. That will unlock your PC, but you will still have to unlock Apple's iCloud.
Right.
And it will not. I don't believe that app, although I haven't been able to download it yet, so I'll get to work on that. But I don't believe that the Apple
I guess it does. Windows Hello does work with just a PIN. Huh. Yeah. That seems kind of low security.
I'm not a fan of Windows Hello, and nor is Paul Thurrott. Yeah. I don't know why I can't get this to open. Just not wanting to open the Windows Store for some reason. Well, we'll just have to leave that as an exercise for the reader. I think I wouldn't recommend that, even if it could. Because a PIN, you really want to have to enter your... Boy, it'd be nice to... if you're going to use a third-party password manager, it's good to have two-factor on that. So you're going to want to have to enter your password. And this is one of the kind of the problems here. It's one of the reasons once we get passkeys up and running, that'll be nice. And Paul was really complaining about this. He did not like the fact that most password managers wouldn't use Windows Hello. He's gone to Dashlane, which is a pretty one, and I've used it on the Mac. I didn't even know they offered it for Windows. They're very Mac focused, but he's now using that because he says that will do passwordless login on Windows using Hello. But my guess, if it uses the PIN, that's not good. That's not good.
Yeah, I agree. If it's just
and
the
I
PIN.
think that's why Bitwarden and LastPass and 1Password don't support it, because that's a weak link. You know, a 6-digit PIN, a 4-digit PIN. That's just too weak, I think. So I would say, choose a better way to do it. And you can't, because you don't have a camera or fingerprint. You're going to be entering your password, or use passkeys. I think that's Dashlane's doing it. I'll have to ask Paul. Listen to last week's Windows Weekly. It was Paul's pick. He talks a little bit about it. He has some of the information. What a mess, right? Mm-hmm. Passwords are such a mess.
They really are.
I am very happy. I know it's a sponsor, but this is independent of that fact, because I've been using it forever with Bitwarden. And I think it does everything I want in a way that I'm convinced is very secure. Somebody was asking in our Twit community forums, twit.community, about whether he should store his two-factor in Bitwarden. Both 1Password, Bitwarden, and I imagine all the others allow you to have a two-factor authentication app in the password manager. and the secrets are locked. Both passwords and the two-factor secrets are locked by that single master password. And so in theory, that's a single point of failure. If somebody got your master password, you don't have two-factor anymore. They got both your password and the two-factor authentication. So that's, in theory, a problem. Recently, I think maybe a couple of weeks ago, Steve said, but if that's what it takes to get you to use two-factor, it's still much better. And in all likelihood, nobody's going to get your master password, I hope.
Yeah.
So if that's the only way you want to do two-factor, go ahead and do it in your password manager. My recommendation, and Steve still is, the better way to do it is to have a separate place so that your two factors is not stored in the same place as your password. I use 2FAS. It's free, open source, cross-platform two-factor manager, and it lets you upload an encrypted blob that is your two-factor secrets to iCloud or Google Drive or somewhere so that you can sync it up. And that to me is a perfect solution. Or get a YubiKey. Yeah, I use a YubiKey. All right. Do we need another pause that refreshes? No, we're good on pauses. Do we have another person to join us? No. We should take another call.
Let's take another call.
I'll do Melissa. Head to breakout room. So now she has to press star 6.
Yep.
And it may be Melissa or somebody with Melissa's phone.
Correct.
We never know. It's just the caller ID. So, what is your first name?
And from where? From whence?
From whence do you call?
Hey, Leo. It's Jamie listening out in Tampa, Florida. How you doing today, sir?
Hi, Jamie in Tampa.
Jamie.
How the hell are you?
Good, man. How the heck are you?
We're great. What's up? What's up in Jamie's world?
Hey, Jordan, it says Melissa. Yeah. First thing I got to remember to do is get a Google Voice number when I call you guys. So it doesn't say my mom, because my mom's in the listen. That's what the deal is on that.
Oh, hi, Mom.
Yeah.
No, it's funny. That's why I don't ever trust that.
Things to do.
Yeah, I don't trust it, and the only reason we use the name is because then I can figure out which button, because that's what it says on the button. But we know
what
you're
I'm thinking about doing, Leo, is turning. I'm thinking about just turning off the my caller ID on my phone when I call you guys.
Sure.
See if that'll work. I've never done it.
Well, then you'll just show up as wireless caller, which is fine with us. We don't.
Oh, okay, then I'll do it that way. I'll do it that way next.
What is that? Star 69 to turn it off? I can't remember. Something like that. Yeah.
No, on iPhone it's settings, phone, show my caller ID, and toggle it off.
Okay.
That's what I've done.
Like a lot of trouble to go.
Anyway, Leo, man. Yeah, I know. Anyway, Leo, Mike, thank you guys for taking my call today.
Sure.
So here's what's happening in the wonderful world of one Jamie. So we have cable with Spectrum, and I heard that we should also be. I heard that it's recommended that we also have an antenna for a backup, right? In case something happens with the cable.
Yeah, because you get hurricanes down Tampa way. Sure, that's smart. Yeah.
Oh, sure. Or maybe you're like me, and you just want to be able to have access to all the sub channels and
actually, and the truth is,
whatever. But
the quality of a broadcast stream is the highest quality because it's not as compressed as cable. It's still compressed, but not as much. So, if you have ATSC3, and I think you do in Tampa, you could be able to watch in theory 4K on lower compression 4K. So yeah, and it's free. So why not, right?
Yeah. Exactly. So the question I have is, so I have the antenna wire. I have my antenna it's called the flat antenna. It's made by Channel Master, and I've had her for a couple years now, and she runs great. But the antenna wire is tucked back behind the TV, mostly to keep me from tripping over it. Only downside that is it really messes up I don't know why, but it messes up my signal because I get less channels than I did when the wire is out. In other words, I find
why that is? The wire is acting as an antenna, which shows you that the flat antenna maybe isn't the ideal antenna. That's hysterical. So when the wire is tucked away, you get worse reception. That means the wire is actually acting as an antenna. Wire. Yeah. So
I didn't know that because I didn't know that because see people people come here in the bedroom that I'm sitting in right now. They come in here to clean or do whatever, and they say, "Oh my God, the antenna wire is sticking out." Jamie could fall and hurt himself. So let's put this back behind the TV. I think all the time, don't touch anything when I'm not here, because that's what happens.
You're talking to the wrong people, because if you look at the floor of our studio, it is littered.
Yeah, we've got wires everywhere.
With wires everywhere. And we have a raised floor that the wires can go under, but it's a lot of work. See all those wires?
Right.
I trip every single day.
Right. So, which is kind of sad, Leo. It's kind of sad.
It's pathetic. I know.
So my question is, what kind of antenna do I need? Because the flat antenna, unfortunately, won't let me tape it to the wall. So
are you in an apartment or a standalone house?
It's a house.
Okay.
We don't. The reason why I don't like the idea of putting the antenna outside, one, that's very expensive. Two, I live in hurricane country.
Yeah.
So.
And lightning
sometimes
country. And an antenna is like a lightning rod. It'd go right into your TV. So I'm going to point you to point you to a site called Antenna Web, antennaweb.com. This, you'll enter in your zip code, and it'll show you what channels you can get locally, which is all of them because you're in town, and it'll show you what antenna is best.
I live about. Right. I live about 20 miles away from the stick, the tower,
So that's perfect. So that's exactly what you would do. You'd enter your zip code, and then it will say, well, you're going to need a directional antenna for channels 4, 7, and 11 aimed in this direction, etc. Do you have an attic?
No, we do not. Okay. I don't know anybody in Florida that has an attic.
Really? Are attics uncommon? Okay. So attics is sometimes people will put. I know their hams even. They'll put their antenna in the attic because the shingles and the wood on the roof aren't really much of a deterrent. It's metal that you got to worry about when it comes to an antenna. Something inside the.
I have found. Right. I have found that when I put that when the wire is not behind the TV, I get about 85 channels. Actually, 87 to be exact.
So,
I checked myself.
Here's an experiment.
87
disconnect the flat antenna.
Okay.
Just see if the wire is enough. Because it might well be that really it's the wire. The reason you get all those channels is not the flat antenna. It's the wire. Yeah. Now, hams know this, and I dimly remember this from my ham exams, that you want the antennas.
I enjoy ham.
Yeah, I love ham too.
I enjoy ham.
I'm talking amateur ham.
Baked ham. Dang it. Wrong kind of ham.
I love my personal favorite, Spanish ham, Iberico, from the pigs eat acorns. But that's another story for another day. Anyway, so the length of the antenna needs to be a direct multiple of the length of the frequency for optimal reception. Okay, but there are other kinds of antennas. There are, and this might actually be suitable for you. There are antennas called Yagis that are little spirals. There's all kinds of antenna shapes. That's why I want you to go to antennaweb.com, because they will talk about. They'll show you. You enter in your zip code. Here, I'll enter our zip code in, and they'll tell us you can't get anything up there. That's crazy. What are you living in the country for?
I mean, come on. You guys are in like the number 2 market in the country. You guys should be able to get every
no, but
channel.
You'd think, but we are about 45 miles away from Sutro Tower, which is the San Francisco Tower, and it unfortunately is not powerful enough. So these are the 4 stations I can get. Only 2 of them are good quality. Channel 50, and I don't even know what KFMY is, but anyway, they're not good. They're not good.
I think that's a My Network TV affiliate. I think I got to look it up.
Yeah,
for you.
It's terrible.
I can tell.
We're just far enough away. So this is why cable. This is why cable TV was invented, was for suburban areas like this that are too far away from the metro.
That couldn't get it.
To receive broadcast.
Right.
And even, honestly, even with the right antenna, the best I'm going to be able to do is 4 channels, none of which I want. So this is why you have to have cable and pedal over.
And it's probably some like random religious or independent.
Yeah, they're independents, right.
low power,
So
whatever.
it shows you, as you can see, and you'll have more than this, fortunately, but it'll show you next to the channel the color code, which is what kind of antenna you're going to want, which in this case is a medium multi-directional antenna. And then if I want to get these extra two, I need a large multi-directional antenna, which sounds like an outside antenna. Then if you click the link, learn more about antennas. It'll show you.
Yeah, I've had friends that have those outdoor antennas, and I have a friend. She actually had to replace her antenna because we had one of our famous afternoon Florida thunderstorms. And
exactly.
Should I tell Leo? Would you like to guess what happened next?
I kind of know, but so that's exactly why you don't want an outdoor antenna. The flat antenna is not a bad idea, but if you think about it, it's not a good idea either. It's not the right. It's not. It's really. It will only work if the signal is very, very strong. And as you've learned, it turns out the wire connecting the flat antenna is actually a better antenna than the flat antenna. So,
true story. I disconnected the wire one time because the flat antenna requires you plug it in two places. You know, there's one end of the coax cable goes into the bottom of the antenna, and you put the other end into the antenna jack on the TV. Or the antenna port, which we want to figure out where it is because I've got a Roku TV.
Let me once again. Let me just. I don't need the details, but the Discord has given me one more site which I like also, which is Antennas Direct. It's doing the same kind of thing. I entered in the zip code. It's showing me where the transmitters are. Actually, this is a nice map. And then they sell antennas. They sell the right kind of antenna. Here's an indoor or attic antenna. Here's the flat antenna, and this is exactly what you got from Channel Master. It's amplified, okay, but in theory, you know. So I don't know how good this site is. It looks actually pretty good. It shows you a variety of places you can channels you can see. It looks like they are selling the antennas themselves, which is a convenience, but may make you wonder whether you really need to buy an antenna that looks like that. I don't know if you do.
Wow, I mean, cool. The worst antenna I ever got was I had a pair of rabbit ears.
Yeah, you remember that? Are you old enough?
I know what rabbit ears
to remember rabbit ears?
Getting up and
and you had to go, and then
now stand there. Now
Steve
hold
Wozniak tells a funny story. He had a detuner that he built in college. So he had a little box that he made that would detune, somehow interfere with the signal. And so he would sit in the you know how they have a common room with a TV and there's some poor guy who's trying to find the game. And Steve's sitting with his detuner in his pocket, and the guy would be trying all different poses to get, and he would tune it to, as soon as the guy got in the most untenable, you know, one leg in the air, one leg, one hand up here like that, it would come in perfectly.
Oh, that's
and
amazing.
then as soon as he moved, it would get bad. Okay,
that's
the
funny.
poor guy would have to stand there like that.
Oh, that's funny.
And it was all because Woz had a little thing in his pocket. Anyway, those are two good resources for you to find the right antenna. It's hard if you can't put it on the roof, if you can't put it in the attic. Having it in the living room is never ideal. You can maybe sometimes mount a Yagi off the side of your house. Lightning, and then it has to be aimed in the right direction. And if the transmitter for one station is there and the other one's there, it's hard. This is why cable succeeds. Let's do another call. Who else? Oh, let me do the other wireless caller, shall I?
Hello.
Hey, what's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name is Paul, and I'm calling you from Pontiac, Michigan.
From beautiful Pontiac, Michigan. Hi,
Hello,
Paul. Welcome.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. It's a pleasure to chat with you.
Nice to talk to you, Paul. What can we do for you?
My wife and I are about to embark on a month-long trip to New Zealand and Australia.
Congrats. Sounds fun.
And we're both iPhone users, and we've been looking into installing eSIMs to provide data, cellular service, and text capability. Mm-hmm. It's a bit of a challenge to gather enough information to make an informed decision, and we thought you might be able to fill in some gaps for us.
Micah, do you want to take this?
Yeah, so there are loads of different options, of course, but there's an eSIM company that I have heard about from many people and have used for a long time, and it's very simple to use. And I'm just trying to remember that.
Airlo?
No, GigSky.
GigSky.
So GigSky, GIGSKY. We have talked about it before on iOS Today. My co-host, Rosemary Orchard from the UK, has talked about it before as well. And it has built-in tools for you to basically have an eSIM wherever you need to. They have different prices and different price points, and you can do, just a gig of data, 3 gigs of data, that kind of thing, depending on how long you want to have it. And it all works right there on your phone. You install the eSIM, you're good to go. And apparently, if you are a Visa card holder, there are also some complimentary plans as well. So there are some other options that are included for different users. But yes, GigSky, long time use of this specific app. And then I've also heard of other folks who've used this and had a very easy time with it.
Joe in our Club Twit says Airlo is one he uses when he travels. AIRALO. He says they use Apple Pay, which is nice because you can go online and do it and pay for it all without leaving your phone. 200 plus countries. Now, I have to say I've never used any of these because as a Google Fi customer and as a T-Mobile customer, but primarily Google Fi customer, I don't even bother. I just, Google Fi, I pay the same amount for data everywhere. And so as we travel around, I just use my existing phone without an eSIM or anything. And I don't have those huge international data fees. Might be worth, though, if you're going to use a lot of data. It's really nice when you travel to have that data. That's great. A month, that's even better. I'm so jealous.
Great news, guys. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Been a long time.
Thanks,
and
Paul.
Also a Club Twit member.
Oh, yay. Thank you for your support.
When are you leaving?
Leo, I'll give you a 7-3 from N8BRO.
7-3. There's a fellow amateur radio operator, W6TWT.
From ham to ham.
When are you leaving, Paul?
1st of April, we'll be getting ready and heading out.
Nice. Have fun.
Yes.
Take your handy talkie, right? So you can
Safe
do a little
travels.
ham radio in country. It'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah, we use an open spot and actually tie it into the internet and can work just like local back here to the States.
I'll never forget I was on a cruise and there's a guy sitting in the lobby talking on amateur radio. And I said, how you doing? He says, internet. I was very impressed. That's great. Have a great trip, Paul. Take care.
All right, guys. Thanks again. Talk to you soon.
I love our Club Twit members. And please do identify yourself when you're a Club Twit member and you call in. We'd love to know that. Perhaps you've heard and you've said, what is this Club Twit of which they speak? It is, frankly, something we wanted to do from the very beginning, 20 years ago when I started Twit in April 2005, 19 years ago. I thought we could do this without ads. But after a couple of years, it became apparent that we really couldn't grow without ads. So over the last 15 years, advertising has been a great support. It's really made it possible for us to build studios. We're in our 3rd studio now, to hire great people like Mikah and do so many shows. But unfortunately, advertisers, for some reason, have decided to abandon podcasts. They're abandoning new media in general. You saw Vice is shutting down. Many podcasts that we love, like Rocket, have had to shut down due to lack of advertising support. We don't want to shut down. We want to keep going. So we've come back to that old thought that maybe we could be listener supported. Now, we're not going to put all the burden on you. We still have some advertisers. Hope we keep, selling ads. We're going to try. But in the long run, it looks like it's going to be up to you to support us. Now, we created the club a couple of years ago. It's been a great success. I want to emphasize that the $7 a month you're paying goes directly to the studio, to Mikah, to John, to Anthony. It doesn't go to me, it doesn't go to Lisa. It goes to keeping operations afloat. And it is very important to us because, frankly, if we can't pay the power bill, we're not going to be able to do a podcast. So you're paying basically to keep Twit on the air. We do give you benefits. I've seen people say, well, wait a minute, you're making the benefits less beneficial. Well, but it isn't about the benefits. You're doing it because you want to support us. But we do give you some benefits. The chief benefit is you don't get any ads when you join Club Twit, which means no tracking. We do have some ad tracking in our ad-based shows, but you won't have any in the ad-free shows. You also get video for shows, many of which we only have audio for in public, like Mikah's iOS Today. You also get, of course, access to the Discord, which is a really nice place to hang out, and special events, too. So there are a lot of reasons to join it, but I really want to emphasize the main reason is because you want to support what we do. If you like the content we're creating for you, if you want us to create more, we're going to need you to chip in, frankly. Twit.tv/Club Twit. You can buy individual shows like this for $2.99 a month, but for a few bucks more, you get it all. That's what I would do, and we thank you for joining the club. And do tell us when you call in if you're a member, because I like to thank you for your support. Did you clear the board?
We are running out of time.
Caller, you want to?
Yeah, let's do one. Let's do another one. Yeah.
Ah,
hey, what's your first name and what city?
This is Ken in Arlington Heights, Illinois.
Hello, Ken. Welcome.
Thank you. I am a member of the club. Thank you for everything you do. Leo, I've been with you since the days of Soledad O'Brien on MSNBC.
Wow. Back when I was a virtual
character. I can't begin to tell you. Yes, you were a virtual character. You were very handsome then, and you continue to be handsome.
I can't spin my hair, though.
But I've learned so much over the years, and Mikah, I've learned from you when you were not only a guest, but now since you've been a host. And I do have a question for Mikah. I was a PC user for a little over 30 years, and then I made the move over to a Mac, which I absolutely love. But I have a workflow issue, and I don't know how to fix this.
Okay.
I'll have multiple apps open and documents, and then let's say I have 4 PDFs open. All of a sudden, that one PDF that I'm looking for is missing. I can't find it. I know that it's open. I run a 27-inch screen as my primary screen, and I use my MacBook Pro. It's an M1 as my secondary screen. And, I tried some third-party apps like Rectangle and a few others, and that just doesn't seem to do it. But do you run into these kinds of issues? And is there a workaround? When you're on a conference call and you're trying to reference 4 different documents, and all of a sudden, wait, where did that document go?
It can be kind of complicated, especially if you're using multiple screens, figuring out where things are. There are lots of different methods for going about this. One of my favorite things to do, though, is just to use Expose. And so
you just press F4 or F3 rather.
Yep. And when you press F3, what it'll do is bring up this is actually mission control, but Expose is kind of part of mission control. And it'll bring up the different documents that you have, bring up the different pages that you have. And that can be a quick way to kind of get an understanding of what is where. Another thing that I like to use is, so if you're using a PDF and you are in the preview app, for example, I like to use the window option in the menu. So make sure you have that PDF kind of front of screen, just one, so that preview's front of screen. And then you choose window and you click bring all to front. You can set a keyboard shortcut for that. And that's what a lot of people will do. And that will basically make any preview window that exists anywhere on your machine that's open at that time, it'll bring it to the front. So it'll pop those all to the front of the document, or to the front of the window. So that way, if you did have a PDF that was hiding behind something, you'd be able to see it. between those two things, I'm typically able to find what I need. Sometimes I will have an issue where the window is minimized instead of actually being up somewhere, just hidden behind layers. And right-clicking on an app icon that's currently launched and choosing Show All Windows is another great way to see what windows you currently have open in that app. That is another thing that you can set a keyboard shortcut for if you'd like. And so that's particularly helpful if you are in preview, if you've got multiple PDFs open, because it kind of shows them as a tile at the bottom of the screen. And so if I have, let's say I have a bunch of PDFs open and I, again, right click on preview and choose show all windows, it will just show all of the windows for that specific app. Then you can quickly click on the one that you want to bring to the front and you're able to access it. So I think
that is great.
Yeah, and that's what ends up being the problem, right? Is that there are so many ways to go about this. You don't necessarily know which one to do, but hopefully one of those will be a great way for you to find what you're looking for.
That is great. If you don't mind, kind of a related question. I do use Stage Manager because that helps me as well find the application.
We found somebody who uses.
I was about to say the one Stage Manager user. Holy cow! It's nice to meet you.
That's the theory behind it, though, right?
Is to give you
some organization. Yeah.
Yeah. So you can see mail and contacts, your calendar. They're right there to click on.
Mm-hmm.
But so I'll be on a call and I'm referencing two documents. So I drag, let's say, one of the PDFs over to the secondary screen. And then I'm getting like the Stage Manager icon on the second screen, which I don't want to have. And I just recently figured out if I double click quickly on the second screen, then I can drag the document over and it's not minimized like a Stage Manager, size document.
Yeah. So what I'm going to do, well, first, thank you to Retcon who reminded me that the keyboard shortcut for showing all of the windows is holding down Control and then hitting down arrow. So when you have preview in the front, one PDF in the front, hold down Control and hit down arrow. That will bring up all the different PDFs. But going to your question, my recommendation for you, because this is what I have done in the past, and in fact, I believe at the beginning mentioned you're a Club Twit member. You should check out my episode that's completely devoted to Stage Manager. But if you head to Apple's support documents, we'll include a link in the show notes to the page that's all about Stage Manager. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is because one thing that I think Apple has not done a good job of is revealing all of the hidden things that you can do with Stage Manager. And so there are lots of different options and keyboard shortcuts that you can use, and depending on how you move something to one, you just explained it. If you double click and you do this, then it does this. If you just drag it, then it does that. These are all little sort of gestural and keyboard based inputs that will give you a different output. So I'm going to link you to Apple's kind of full page that has everything you need to know about Stage Manager so that you can kind of figure out, okay, this is how I wanted to use it. This is not how I wanted to use it. So that'll be in the show notes, which of course are at, twit.tv/ATG will give you the latest, or techguylabs.com.
Yeah, we kept that around. Ken, are you on a laptop or a desktop?
I really appreciate it.
Are you on a laptop?
I'm on a laptop. I'm on a MacBook Pro M1.
So as a completely
love it.
alternative suggestion, I'll show you how I work. And I think I'm much influenced by the iPad. I tend to want everything in full screen. And then I can swipe between screens with 3 fingers. So if I keep everything full screen, and let's say I open Zoom now, and I'm in a phone call. The first thing I do when Zoom opens is I make it full screen because I don't. If I swipe around, I want it to be. And as soon as I make it full screen, it's its own workspace.
Space, yep.
So when I press F3 now, I see all these workspaces. I can go up to the top, and I can reorder them. I can move them around. And so for me, given the limited real estate on a laptop, when on my desktop, I tend to have more windows
Same.
open all at once.
I'm a Spaces guy on my laptop and a non-Spaces guy on my workstation.
Yeah. In fact, I'll use a rectangular magnet to order screens and all of that. But there's just not enough real estate, in my opinion, on a laptop. So, but this 3-finger swipe is a great thing because you can show my screen. There's nothing to hide. So as I'm swiping through, I can see all the different things I need to do, and the F3 will then open up, and I can organize. I can drag these around if I want it. They even notice it even names it when you're full screen. That says Discord. That says Zoom. That says Slack. That says Emacs. That says this is Windows is running in a full screen as well. So this is a nice for me. And again, it's very personal. That's one of the nice things that Apple does is with Stage Manager and so forth, they give you a lot of different ways of operating. But frankly, I want to be full screen on my laptop. So every time I open an app, I just make it full screen so that it can can be there.
This is great. Yeah. Well, Leo and Mikah, let's do another 30 plus years.
Ken, thank you so much.
Hurrah, hurrah.
I am so grateful to you.
Thank you.
That's been a long time. So Dev Null, MSNBC, that was 1994. So yeah, 30 years exactly. That's amazing. I appreciate it. Thank you for your support.
Thanks again for everything, Jeff.
My pleasure.
Take care.
Take care. Wow.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, it's fun to actually. One of the things I really enjoy seeing is how other people use.
I love it.
Their computers or their phones, because everybody seems to personalize it.
It's very personalized, and sometimes you go, I'll go, wait, what did you just do?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do that again. And whoa, I didn't know that. Yeah, you discover new things all the time. And I can take things other people do and adapt it to how I like to do. Yeah, it's awesome. And I think that's part of what we can show at times.
One of the, and Anthony's saying he uses Command Tab. And of course that works also with this full screen because you can see everything you have open and you can choose whatever full screen application you want and go right to that. So that's another fast way of navigating. And I really like the F3. I don't use it as much as I probably could or should, but that gives you a chance to really organize it so that, I always liked, for instance, to have my Emacs next to a browser. Mm-hmm. So I'll set it up that way so that I have the browser and then I have Emacs and I know I can go back and forth. So that's, it's handy, but to have the magnet and multiple screens, I just think on a laptop, you just don't have enough real estate to do that.
Agreed.
Whereas on my 55-inch display at home, I got lots of real estate, so I'll have all those windows open at the same time. All right.
That's that.
Command tilde, what does that do?
That just switches windows within an application. So you go to preview.
Oh, yeah. If I have multiple windows open. Right. So that was actually his use case, because he had preview open. And he had multiple documents. So if you went full screen on them, you would want to use Command tilde to switch between them.
Command tilde Swinton.
Now, you really cannot Command tilde Swinton because she is her own woman.
Indeed.
And on that
that's
note,
how we'll end it. Great. There's my legacy. I'm leaving.
We thank you so much for watching, for your support as a Club Twit member, and for calling in. We love our callers. We love doing this show.
We do.
It is my one day of the week where I get to hang out and talk about my socks. So
that is, the one place you get to talk about your socks.
It's the only place I can do that,
Mac break, not for socks.
You can catch more of Mikah Sargent every Thursday, Tech News Weekly. And you've got a great lineup now. Every week, another co-host.
It's really awesome. I'm very pleased. We've got Abrar Alhiti of CNET.
Love her.
Amanda Silberling of TechCrunch.
Love her.
Jennifer Patterson-Tui of The Verge. And Emily Drybelbus of PC Mag, who are all joining us.
They're all great. I love them all. And it makes it a nice, fun show every week.
Exactly. You get a variety, which is great.
And, of course, his great co-host, Rosemary Orchard, on iOS Today, which you can now listen to even if you're not in the club. We moved into the club briefly, and then we thought better of it. So audio versions of all of our shows now, including Untitled Linux Show, all of the shows that were previously behind the paywall are now out in the public. You can subscribe to them all if you go to our website, twit.tv. And, of course, if you want video, join the club. It's worth it. $7 a month. You get video too. So Rosemary Orchard, Mikah Sargent, and you do those every Tuesday right before Mac Break Weekly.
Indubitably.
Yes, for iOS Today. And we'll probably find more things for Mikah to do as time goes by. I think I asked Lisa if I could do this, and she said no. But I think you should be on every show that I do. You should just have. It should be us.
It's
the two of us.
The two of us.
But she
Plus
says
others.
then you would have Mikah be doing like 10 shows a week. You can't have him do that.
That would be 10. Wow.
Yeah, you can't have him do that. And then I says, I used to do 10 shows a week when I was his age. You could do it.
I could.
When I was twice his age. Anyway, I like you that much. I like having you around. And I think you should be my co-host everywhere we go. But until that time comes, and it'll probably come when I need the drool cup, then we'll just have to see him on iOS Today and Tech News Weekly and Ask the Tech Guys every Sunday. We do the show from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Roughly. We stop and start a little differently, but if you tune in from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Pacific, that's 2 to 5 p.m. Eastern Time. We stream it on YouTube, youtube.com/twit. You can also watch it pre-show, post-show as well in the club. The Discord does some streaming as well. After the fact, on-demand versions of the show at twit.tv/ATG, or just go to techguylabs.com, same place. There's a YouTube channel dedicated to Ask the Tech Guys. And you can subscribe, which, I don't want to say anything, but that's a good way to get it. You get it automatically. I hear people say that. It's a good way. And that way you'll get it immediately as soon as we're done with the show. And we clean it up and stuff, take out the swear words, the cuss words and stuff. Micah, during the week, can people reach us?
Yeah, they can. ATG@twit.tv is the email. We talked about that. Audio and video can be sent there, or text. That's when Leo reaches back. That's where those are coming from. And then if you do call that number, that 888-724-2884 number during the week, you get to leave a voicemail for us that we will be able to play back. If you head to call.twit.tv during the week, I don't know what happens, but you don't want to do that.
You don't want it. You could sit there for hours. You just be all by yourself in that little.
And I don't even think there's any good music playing when you do.
So you're just sitting there. Thank you all for being here. We really appreciate it. We'll see you next time. For Mikah Sargent, I'm Leo Laporte, wishing you a great geek week. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.